If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's everand.com/listen.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating Melon Serum. This next-generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Good morning, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in on a Thursday morning. How about Game 4 of the NBA Finals? My guess is you've never seen anything like it because nothing like that's ever happened before. The Spurs had a 29-point lead and they blew it. And if you think, how do you blow a 29-point lead? You must really have to work at it. You're right. Especially because the Knicks, credit them for the competitiveness and coming back and getting the win. But they did not exactly cover themselves in glory. If anything, I would say maybe the 29-point lead was a little bit of fool's gold because it didn't show how good the Spurs were. I think it was really a product of how bad the Knicks were in the first half. And, I mean, as the game tightened up, I just thought whoever loses this game is going to think, I don't ever want to watch the film of this because there had to be at least 10 different ways we could have won this game. And I do want to exempt somebody. In a game full of boneheaded plays, bad plays, gagging under pressure, hideous turnovers. People were paying $40,000 and $50,000 to see these turnovers. You could have seen these turnovers for $5 at Valhalla High School 40 years ago. I know. I was there coughing the ball up. Thank you very much. My gosh, it was bad. But OG Anunoby inbounding the ball, and they go to double Brunson, and he takes off. And he goes all the way to the rim. If they don't block you out, go get the ball. And with the game on the line, with Brunson just launching a hopeful ball that... Oh, my gosh. He went full Damian Lillard over Victor Wembanyama. That shot was never going in, which makes it all the more important for Anunoby to race from midcourt all the way to the rim, time his jump perfectly, and tip it in. Big-time play. In a game that had a few plays that, let's face it, they were not big-time. Victor Wembanyama missing 2 big free throws that could have put the game away. Then the Knicks... Brunson down 1 with like 20 seconds to go even, drives the hoop and tries to hit a float over Wembanyama. 0% chance that was going in. Curious decision, that one. And the ball gets tipped out. And naturally with the ball and the lead and time running down, 15 seconds, 14 seconds, De'Aaron Fox decided, hey, there's a really big athletic guy. I'll go right at the hoop and try to take a layup over him. Dribble out, make him foul you, take time off the clock. You had basically by the time he took the bad shot and, of course, didn't score. He was never going to. There were 10 seconds left in the game. You could have dribbled out a lot of that. Now you can say, well, he would have missed both free throws. Maybe there was enough stuff going wrong. Fox had a turnover with 2 minutes left. He threw the ball to the middle of the court. The Spurs lead was down to 1, and there's nobody there. So I don't know who he's throwing it to. Well, I mean, it turns out he's throwing it to Josh Hart. There was someone there. There was nobody there from his team. And Hart takes off for the rim, and what does he do? Gets confused between a layup and a dunk and misses a breakaway that would have put the Knicks in the lead. The number of things that went wrong in this game were mind-boggling. I got to say, The Spurs were gifted a bunch of wide-open threes in the first half, and they hit an enormous number of them. That is why they led 76-49 at halftime. That's how they built the big lead. And the Knicks came out with a lot more energy, and the Spurs just kept launching threes. It was Wembanyama took 3-on-1 possession. For the life of me, I don't understand it. Champagny, he was the only Spur who had a bad shooting game. His teammates were so hot, he must have thought he was hot. That's all I can figure. And so he's launching a 3, 1-on-2 in transition. Dude, take some time off the clock. You could miss a 3 15 seconds from now. He was 2 of 9 shooting, 1 of 7 for 3, but sure enough, he's launching a terrible low percentage shot early in the first half and helping the Knicks get back in it. It was crazy to watch. And the Knicks overcome a bunch of stuff. I don't know what Brunson and Hart were doing at midcourt when they got confused and gave the ball away in the first few minutes of the game as the Spurs jumped out to a 12-2 lead. Just like drop the ball in the center circle and let them run the other way for a layup. Crazy that in Game 4, this many mistakes were made. But you know what? When you're playing a terrible game, which the Knicks were, you can't quit. You got to figure out a way to get back in it. So you got to give them credit for doing that. And they did it, and they found a way to win the game. And they're up 3-1. So from their perspective, it doesn't matter how ugly it was. It doesn't matter how bad they were in the first half. They found a way to get the win. And they're up 3-1, and they're just one game away. Now, I think they're going to do it. I don't want to guarantee anything because this is not the series to be guaranteeing anything. There's too much weird stuff happening. That was the first win by a home team, 4 games in. The Spurs, who did look tired, I mean, that was a factor. Their inexperience was a factor. The lack of poise was a factor. Probably ties a lot of these mistakes together. They got a couple days to watch the film, be mad, their home crowd, come out and go nuts, win Game 5, and then the Knicks could clinch in the Garden. That would be the storybook, and it's certainly plausible, but once you've seen a 29-point lead go away and you've seen that many boneheaded plays, holy cow, who knows what to expect. Even though it was bad basketball, it was entertaining. I mean, it was dramatic, but it was it was crazy. The turnovers. And the funny thing is there weren't a lot of turnovers, but even the ones where there were unforced. And just horrific. But hey, for the Knicks, 3-1 now. 1 game to go. They got a chance to clinch it in San Antonio, Game 5, Saturday night. We got hockey tonight. We got 2-2 series, Carolina and Vegas. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. That's coming up tonight on ABC. All right, on the way. Later this morning, Matt Brown, Extra Points College Football. We'll talk with him about all the craziness at Texas Tech. Brian Geltzeiler joins us to talk NBA Finals and all things New York. That's coming up at 9 o'clock. Next, Mike Folta talking Stanley Cup playoffs. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time to talk about the Stanley Cup Final. Mike Folta joined us during yesterday's show, so some of the yesterday, last night references will be a little off. But his bigger points about the team and about what the Mammoth might do in the offseason, all valid. Here's Mike with PK and I on the Zone. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. Hope everybody was up watching Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final last night between Carolina and Vegas. It has been an incredible series, and we had another incredible game last night. So I'm enjoying being a fan, fellas.
Another game, another 2-goal lead blown. Haven't you been calling games and thought, 2-goal lead, this is going to be really tough? And this is automatic. And these teams are supposed to be really good defensively. Are they so good defensively they're creating the turnovers that are leading to all the goals? Is that the problem?
I think there's an element of that. I think more than anything, you've just got two really good teams that are both playing with desperation, that both have big players that are coming through in big moments. For Carolina, it's been their captain, Jordan Staal. Another 2 goals for him last night. I think he's the oldest player ever to score in 4 straight Stanley Cup final games. He's 37 years of age. And then on the other side, you've got clutch players like Mark Stone and Brett Howden and of course, Mitch Marner for the Golden Knights, who is the front runner to win the Conn Smythe, the playoff MVP. But I think it's just been incredible theater. And the fun thing about it for me is that, like, everywhere you look up and down the roster, you've got players on both sides who are making incredible plays and then making mistakes. Nobody has been perfect in this series. and that's why we're tied at 2.
Oh, yeah, you're channeling Torch. Is that what they called him, Tortorella?
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, the frustrating part for me is they didn't earn their winning goal. He's referring to a bad turnover that led to a Seth Jarvis chance. Was stopped by Carter Hart. And then he said, right after that, we made another mistake. We leave the front of the net. Oh, my gosh. Now, this is PK speaking. How the fetch can you leave the front of the net? Isn't that basic hockey, Mike?
Is that PK or is that like George Costanza right there? Jerry, how do you leave the front of the net, Jerry? The front of the net. It is crazy because both teams are so good at defending the front of the net. Like, that's Vegas' thing. They defend the house. They'll let you possess the puck a little bit. We saw it when they played Utah in the first round. The Mammoth at times had trouble getting to the inside of the ice, as we call it, that area right in front of the net. But yeah, Vegas has been, like, as good as the Golden Knights have been in big moments, and they're so poised throughout games. They never seem phased. There's never any panic. And for all of that, they have been so imperfect that, that's why they trailed Utah in the series. That's why they trailed Anaheim in the series. That's why they're tied at 2 right now with Carolina. Like, they have this habit of kind of making silly mistakes. Now, part of that is the way that the Hurricanes play. I mean, it's just wave after wave of pressure, and it's kind of like a football team that blitzes you all the time. You can beat the blitz, but if you hesitate for a moment, you could turn it over. You could get sacked, a negative play. So with all that pressure, like, eventually the dam breaks, and most teams make mistakes. That's why Carolina's reached the final. And they're doing it to Vegas, too. So the Hurricanes deserve a lot of credit on that front for forcing those mistakes with the tenacity with which they play.
How much did you enjoy what turned out to be the winning goal? I mean, you're just talking about sheer effort, stumbling, tripping, lunging, falling to the ice, and somehow slapping that puck into the back of the net. It's not the prettiest goal, but in a way, it's gorgeous.
It was incredible, and somewhere that's going to be framed, that still shot of Jordan Staal on the ice, knocking that puck in. That's going to get framed, and it's going to be in a bunch of Raleigh man caves. And it's probably going to be in the North Carolina press box at the Lenovo Center as well, because that was an incredible moment. And PK kind of mentioned it. It started with Seth Jarvis forcing a turnover, and Jarvis is a guy who has been a little bit snake-bitten in these finals and in the playoffs in general, hasn't made as much of an impact along with some of Carolina's other top guys that head coach Rod Brindamore would have hoped. He did have an overtime winner in Game 2, but he just makes an incredible play. He's taken on like 3 Golden Knights. I think Ray Ferraro on TV said it looked like a Golden Knights team picture in the corner. There were so many gold sweaters, but Jarvis finds a way to beat them all, just kind of keep the play alive. And then I think it was Ehlers who passed it to Staal, and that's just an incredible effort play. And that's why this series has been so incredible. You have two teams that are selling out every moment. And even when your legs are tired, there's not enough oxygen getting to your brain, you can't even think out there, these guys are still finding a way to make these incredible moments.
Turning to the Mammoth, Bill Armstrong making a statement as far as basically anything and everything's on the table. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if he used that phrase, but you get the point. What level of talent do you want in return if the Mammoth were to include Njigla or Desnoyers?
I had to do a double take there. We're gonna have to work on your Canadian PK. So I've got T. Ginla and Caleb Denoye. The Denoye one's tough. But T. Ginla, yeah, there you go. So those are, for those of us who might not remember, those are Utah's 2 biggest prospects.
Right.
And to be quite honest, they're 2 of the finest prospects in the NHL. I mean, they both had incredible seasons. Tej was taken 6th overall in 24, and Caleb Denoye was taken 4th overall in 25. To be honest, guys, I don't think there's any way those guys get dealt.
No.
And And people have been speculating, and I understand why it's fun to play fantasy hockey, but I think once guys get drafted that highly at that level, they hardly ever get traded. I mean, I went back and I was looking at this the last few years because, Cole Bagley, our good friend with KSLSports.com, put together a trade proposal for Detroit's Dylan Larkin, their captain who wants out of Hockeytown. That included Caleb Denoye in there. And I'm like, guys, the Mammoth, they see Iginla and Denoye as two of the pillars of the franchise. And I just, especially once those guys get drafted, you hardly ever see them get traded that highly, like top 5, top 6 picks. The only one that's happened recently was Cutter Gauthier, who's a really good player. He was taken 5th overall in 22. He got traded from Philly to Anaheim, but that was because he refused to sign in Philadelphia. It wasn't because he was, simply part of he wasn't just a trade chip. He asked out of Philly. So that was a unique circumstance. But you hardly ever see those high-end draft picks get traded after they're drafted and before they reach the NHL. And I think part of that's because nobody is higher on those guys than the team that drafted them. Like the Mammoths are the team that see the most value in Iginla and Denoye, I'm willing to bet. And they see those two guys as big parts of the future. So I expect Bill Armstrong to be wheeling and dealing like he does in the summertime. But I would be shocked if one of those two guys is part of a trade. And if they are, it's a king's ransom coming back to the Wasatch Front.
Totally see your logic there. And we hear how deep the Mammoth are in prospects. Is there a point where they've got so many prospects and only so many roster spots, and they got a bunch of other guys penciled in, that they need to trade some of the prospects? Maybe not the top 2, but do they have other guys you think might need to move along just because the sheer math of it doesn't work? So go get some value now, and if you trade 2 or 3 prospects, as long as it isn't the top prospects, for a vet who can play right now, somebody in their prime, not only does it make sense, they almost have to do it. Are they that deep?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say they have to do it, but that's asset management, right? Anytime you have a war chest like the Utah Mammoth do, and you can only sign 50 contracts. Like there's 20-something contracts, guys that are on the NHL roster. There's other contracts of guys who are in the minor leagues, but it still counts as an NHL deal. You can sign 50. So the Mammoths are close to that right now. So there's only so many more guys they can sign to a deal. But yeah, at some point the math dictates that you move this guy or move that guy, or there's not enough room in your system. But honestly, guys, I think this training camp's going to be a war. I think they want these young guys to compete with each other, and remember that competition is healthy too, and iron sharpens iron. And if you have a lot of these prospects competing with each other, that's going to bring out the best in them at camp and during the summertime when they need to be working. That pressure is good. And so I think you're okay if there's a little bit of overflow where, some of those high draft picks don't quite pan out, or they don't get as much of an opportunity. And also remember this, Bill Armstrong's a guy who believes in letting prospects bake in the minor leagues. He will throw that casserole in the oven until it is crispy brown. So there is no problem for Bill Armstrong with letting a guy stay in the minor leagues maybe a year, a couple years more than what other teams would. So you can't really ruin a hockey prospect by having them play in the American Hockey League too much. It's a very competitive league. It's a hard league. And you can learn a lot of things down there. So, yes, I do think at some point you start trading the future assets, whether it be a draft pick or a prospect, for players now. But I think having an overabundance of prospects is not an immediate concern because of the competition and because you can let those guys bake for a little bit.
Well, baking, that's more of the winter thing. And in the summer, we've got grilling. Do you like your hot dogs a little charred when you grill them or what?
I can do a little char. Yeah, I don't mind that smoky flavor. You get some of the grill residue on there.
Yeah.
I had a great health missile at what was it, Davis County Golf Club the other day. Very well done with a quality bun as well.
I believe I just heard the phrase health missile.
You walk in, you pluck it off the roller, and you feel your cholesterol go up.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate you pointing out the quality of the bun because that's important. It goes hand in hand. But and I respect you, Mike, greatly, and I love having you on. But I could change my mind if you tell me you put ketchup on it.
I am a mustard and relish guy.
I love you even more, Mike.
Yeah. There's no need for tomato juice on
freaking men.
That's all sugar, chemicals, and red food coloring. There's no tomato in that.
I mean, Mike, we're family now, buddy.
Yeah, I used to be a ketchup guy, like as a kid, but then I grew up.
Right.
And
right. You came to your senses.
Like I've seen people like just put ketchup on their hot dogs. I'm like, why don't you just dip it in water?
Wait a minute. So it's not no relish, mustard, no relish with the ketchup?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just
strange.
ketchup, and then no other condiments. I think that's Looney Tunes.
Yeah, those are
Joey Chestnut, by the way, I think he lives in Westfield, Indiana, which is like 15 minutes from my hometown, like right across the White River. So not surprised that he's got Midwest ties.
Speaking of your Indiana ties, are you one of those people who is staunchly against Purdue ever scheduling Texas Tech at anything again?
I got to be honest, guys. Like, the Sorsby stuff kind of blew over my head, and I checked Twitter like a few days after the announcement came down, and I was like, what? They're letting this guy play? What is
it's pretty much all of our reactions.
You know what it was? Actually, it wasn't Twitter. I was listening to Jake and Ben, and they were talking about it, and then like a stinger of PK came in at a soundbite of PK talking about it. I'm like, wait a minute, they're letting this guy play, and you were going off on him, PK. I can't believe it. I just saw Nebraska and Georgia are boycotting him. Texas Tech, I think. I would love for Purdue to boycott him. I don't think we're playing Texas Tech anytime soon in any sport, but yeah, sure. Boycott the Red Raiders. That is a joke. And put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. I knew that I would be because you don't put ketchup on your hot dogs, so I knew right off the bat we had a lot in common. And I mean, what a precedent it sends. Now we're going to have kids growing up gambling, and then they go on to the pro sports. Boy, that's not a problem. I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever.
I just and maybe the Sorsby kid is a nice guy. He probably is. I have nothing against him personally, but I think we all understand why leagues and courts are so strict on this, or had been so strict on this, where if you bet on games, you're out. You're out. But it's like the 1919 Black Sox all over again.
Shoeless Joe, man. And there we have clueless Texas Tech. Shoeless Joe and clueless Texas Tech.
That's right. Oh, my gosh. Well, I can't believe it.
Would have impacted his mental health. It would have put him in a bad mood. Guess he's never.
Well, those are called consequences, and we all have to live with those.
Somebody's never watched Shawshank Redemption, obviously.
I'm in a bad mood every day.
Yeah, just think of poor DJ. He's got to work with you.
Yeah, I'm wrecking his mental health.
Fair.
I always thought he was nuts.
Well, that's just because I put ketchup on hot
dogs.
But at least I put it with the mustard and the relish.
Wait. So you're a ketchup guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I have been, yeah. I have been. Well, I'm currently off the health missiles altogether.
Yeah, but we haven't been on July 4th yet.
That's true.
I don't know if DJ is getting the invite to the family barbecue.
I know. When he dies, Mike, I'm thinking I'll replace him with you.
Is there anything better than like being in the backyard, sitting on a
I thought you were going to say, is there anything better than me dying? Where are you going with this, Mike? Easy, Mike.
know where he's going.
I've got something a lot better. It's sitting on a $10 camping chair with a paper plate on your knees that you're trying to balance, like the watermelon, the hot dog, and then like the Doritos or something like that, and they're all kind of running together. But God, isn't that the best?
Yeah, exactly. It's why we're American.
It's what the folks in Raleigh are doing before every Hurricanes game. They're tailgating hockey games. It's incredible.
The Utah twist is on the 4th of July. You got to find a street up on one of the benches so you can look out across the whole valley. And you will find people doing that from Payson to
you can
Brigham
just go
City.
to your backyard.
No, it'll be too much ketchup. He's not coming.
You notice he didn't deny it, Mike. Yeah, he lives high up on them hills.
We'll straighten him out at the barbecue this year.
Okay.
Paycheck is why I live in Utah.
All right, Mike. You're the man. Thanks for joining us. Talking a little Stanley Cup final. It's 2-2, and Carolina's going to do it now, right?
You know what? Like, I'm just rooting for 7 games. I do kind of find myself rooting for Carolina. Vegas is they've been there before. They've won it recently. So I'd like to see some new blood. Carolina back in it first time in 20 years. So it's a great series, everybody. Hope you're all watching, and can't wait until we're playing hockey in June at the Delta Center.
Yeah, and Des Noyers is on the ice.
You would get kicked out of Quebec so quickly.
He'd never be let in. Catch him at the border.
Is this American out of here?
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there's Mike Folta. When we come back, Chris Lowe joins us, and we will talk college football. He is the senior college football insider for On3.com. Chris, right after the break. DJ and PK, stay with us.
If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's everand.com/listen.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating melon serum. This next generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
What is that?
Oh, yeah, it's a World Cup holder.
Like the soccer tournament World Cup?
Holder. For the world. Fits every car, holds every cup.
It has a Carvana logo?
Yeah, Carvana made it. They buy and sell cars, so they made a car cup holder. So, got any good cups lately?
I used to. I just couldn't figure out where in the world to put them.
The World Cup holder. Brought to you by Carvana. Proud sponsors of the World Cup holder.
Sign up today to win yours at cup-holder2026.com. Not authorized or endorsed by FIFA. Not a real product. For parity and fair use purposes only.
DJ and PK, we're joined now by Chris Lowe, senior college football insider for On3.com. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good to be with you.
Well, we have so many college football questions for you, but there's one story. It's story number 1, story number 2, story number 3, story number 4, story number 5. Brendan Sorsby cleared by the courts to play at Texas Tech. How far exactly did your jaw drop when you heard that news?
I'd say probably like everybody else, every coach, AD, anybody that follows college football, because there's sort of a cardinal sin in sports. You guys know what it is. You can't gamble, certainly not on your own team, even though he didn't play when he was gambling. And I don't think even with the weaponization of courts, local courts, and we've seen that in eligibility cases, I don't think anybody thought this was coming. Now the NCAA obviously is appealing it, but everybody I talked to does not expect that appeal to be any resolution in that appeal until after the football season, which puts it all back on Texas Tech and or the Big 12. I know some people said, well, the college football playoff, is not controlled by the NCAA, so is there a bylaw that says they could preclude Tech from playing the playoff if they get in there? I don't know. There's been a lot of bluster, ADs and coaches saying they weren't going to play them. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen because it's going to cost them too much money this year. Down the road, maybe. But it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Does Texas Tech sort of cave? Because they owe the kid $5 million. Do they cave? Do they work out an agreement with him? No, we're not going to do this. But, yeah, it's with all the chaos that has gone on around college sports, I don't think anybody saw it getting to this level.
Even if it's only for show and doesn't have any teeth and is challenged and is ruled unsuccessful, whatever it might be, you think it's incumbent upon the Big 12 to just say, no, we're not going to allow this, we're suspending them?
Yes. I go a step further. And I talked about this with several colleagues of mine that are ADs at other parts of the country. I think we're to a point now where university leadership has to step up, period. I'm talking about chancellors and presidents who I think have been sort of gotten off the hook a little bit in some of these matters. Because just because you're clear in a court to be eligible to play, whether you're gambling, whether you pleaded down a DUI or an assault charge, whether you signed a pro contract and were drafted and you come back and play because the court says you can play. Well, there's nothing that says that the president at said university, whether it's Texas Tech or Alabama or Georgia or Tennessee or Ole Miss or any schools, that says, hey, we got to let him play. So there, to me, is a responsibility there. Now, I understand people say, you're naive with all the money that's being generated, the money you're paying these kids. But it is still supposed to be an institution of higher learning. And I do think a chancellor and president do have the power to step and say, no, this is not going to happen. We're going to help this kid. If he wants to stay in school and continue to get his education, his degree, we'll be there to support him. If he's got an issue like this kid clearly does with gambling, we'll do everything we can to help him get that fixed. But he's not going to play football for us this year. Case closed.
Big 12 has the power to ban him from the postseason. They have the power to suspend him even if he gets challenged in court. Do you think that the other presidents and ADs, when they meet early next week, are going to pull all those levers? I mean, they've got multiple levers here to pull them all. Texas Tech wants to go to the playoff really, really badly. If you can ban them from postseason play, which apparently in their bylaws they can, why wouldn't they?
Well, I would think that's certainly going to be the push among all Texas Tech's peers in the Big 12. I mean, it should be. If I'm Kansas State or Iowa State, any of those schools in that league, Arizona, Utah, absolutely, that's what I'm pushing for. And I think I think the wheel is already turning, and we'll see where, the leadership of the Big 12 is with that. There's going to be a lot of pressure. Even if the university leadership at Texas Tech doesn't take those steps, then, yeah, I agree. I think it's incumbent upon the Big 12 to do that. And I'm not naive. I understand you got boosters, $1 million, billion-dollar boosters at all these schools. In the case of Texas Tech, there's one in particular, who's doled out piles of cash, and sometimes it gets to be a little bit of the tail wagging the dog, and you don't want to alienate those types of money people. And there's a little bit of a balancing act there. But, yes, I still think there's going to be accountability across the board at the top of both the conference level and the university level.
Why do you think Texas Tech is pushing so hard? Because if they are, maybe they'll change their mind. But obviously they're supporting him and all that, and nothing has been said as far as them not allowing the kid to play yet. Maybe it'll come to that because I think it's a bad look, and I hate to bring this up, but I will, because it shouldn't matter whether you're the best player or the worst player. The gambling is still the issue. But the fact is, this kid is not all world, so I don't understand why they're willing to die on this hill if that is, in fact, what they end up doing.
Yeah, and to your point, what if this was a second-team offensive guard?
Yeah.
You think they'd be fighting this hard after if everything else was the same? I think you got to support your players. I mean, it's just like when somebody gets in trouble off the field. You still want to sort of help those kids get a degree. And in Sorsby's case, he's got, and I don't make light of the fact, the kid's clearly got a problem. And I know he's been seeking help as a school, as a university you sign with. You want to continue to help him do that. But, yes, you don't have to let him play football. And I don't know. I don't know if they feel like, they're going to dig their heels in and hold on to this. As I said earlier, there's money involved now, $5 million worth. He's into a contract with. I do think in most of these contracts, I haven't seen them all, there are ethics clauses that if you break those ethics clauses, then you forfeit all or some of the money. I think stuff like that. And maybe those conversations are being held right now between his people, his reps, and Texas Tech. I go back to what I said at the outset of our conversation. That to me, the most fascinating thing is if this truly does end up being just in Texas Tech's court, and the Big 12 doesn't do anything, the college football playoff says, well, we don't have any bylaws that say we can't keep them from getting in. What does Texas Tech do amid all this pressure and outrage across college sports? Which, let's be fair, and it's not necessarily gambling, although that's a whole other conversation. What was it? I think someone said there's 14,000 kids playing, I don't know if it's FBS football or Power 4 football. And this is not a whataboutism, but I think the scariest thing that scares the hell out of ADs and coaches is how many other kids are gambling regularly on football. But I think let's be clear about other schools that have had issues where kids have got in trouble and they pleaded cases down. Georgia's had a ton of kids get arrested, racing, speeding. Tragically, they had one kid die in an alcohol-related incident. You got kids that are signing pro contracts and going to court, coming back and play. So everybody who's wagging the finger now, and gambling to me, though, is at the top of the list because it's a cardinal sin. People need to make sure their own closets are clean before they get too sanctimonious.
Yeah.
Well, that's number one. That's true. I think number two is no matter how clean your closet is today, who knows what tomorrow is going to bring. So,
right, exactly.
I mean, the ads are up in the stadiums. The ads are up on TV. Everything's available on your phone. Most states, not all, but most states have legalized this. And even if they haven't, people figure they can get away with it anyway. So, and then just the sheer number of college athletes, this has to be going on. The thing is, college sports can survive this if there are consequences and the people who are seen as the grown-ups in the room take action, because there's at least 75 years of point shaving stuff out there. City College of New York, 75 years ago now, and there's been stuff pretty much every decade. So I don't see why that's going to change. But the difference is the grown-ups in the room, in this case, a local court said, 2-game suspension. I mean, hasn't it always been at least a year? Apparently, they tripped up here because the NCAA, there was some coach in Indiana who only got 30% of the games or something. I didn't know about that case. But most of the high-profile ones, including recently NFL, people get to sit down for a year, and in his case, that's his last year of college eligibility.
Yeah, and look at the Iowa kids just recently.
Yeah.
Calvin
Ridley with the Falcons in the NFL.
So yes, it's and I know I'm echoing what I said earlier. So yeah, who does stand up and say, no, this is not, we're not going to do this, like conference, school, NCAA. I think everyone's sort of waiting to see, because if the right thing is done here, and again, not just kicking this kid to the curb as a person or as a student, but he's not allowed to play, then everybody else says, okay, there are real consequences. See what happened to Sorsby. If you gamble, you're not going to be able to play. You're going to be done for at least a whole year, because otherwise, and I think a coach said this anonymously, how do you ever know going forward what's on the up and up when games are played? Are kids, betting the under? Are they betting the over? Are they betting not to cover? I hate to even throw that out there, but those questions are going to be asked, right? I mean, everyone's going to wonder that. The health of the game, it's never going to be the same if he's allowed to play football this year for Texas Tech. Bottom line.
Yeah, especially in a sport like football at the college level. In the pro level, it seems like it's more manageable because there's just fewer guys. In the college game, you have double the amount of spaces on your roster, and to try to manage all these kids is a chore unto itself. And plus, too, now with these kids coming into enormous amounts of money, like we're talking about Love, the running back from Notre Dame, he was saying about the contract that he's going to sign with the Arizona Cardinals. He's going to put it away. He says, I've been benefiting from NIL. Quote, I'm well off. That's a phrase he used himself. And so you wonder if these kids are already getting besieged probably by a bunch of hanger-oners and people and unscrupulous agents or whomever it might be, because we hear it at the pro level. And now if gambling then, if there isn't a consequence or a severe consequence, you're just opening up temptation for young people that are already facing so much temptation as it is, compounded with the amount of money that they're making. It's just awful.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys brought it up about the gambling advertising and, the apps, the betting sites. We can't watch a ball game anymore without seeing those ads, in stadiums everywhere. So there is a little bit of a hypocritical element here to it. And because, those advertisements and those companies who advertise are paying big money. I mean, there's a lot of cash being generated. But no, I mean, listen, when I was 19 and 20, I made a lot of dumb decisions. Now, I didn't have $4 or $5 million in my discretion, and God knows what kind of stupid decisions I would have made if I had that kind of cash. And you're right, you have people in your ear, the wrong people sometimes. You pray these guys are listening to the right people. And I think a lot of times if a kid who's 19, you're going back to some of the stuff in Georgia, and you get a high horsepower car, you never really had a car like that, and you're just sort of driving out of control, gambling. There's a lot that's different now, and that's why it's hard with the kind of money that's being paid out. I mean, if you think about it, if you're a top-tier quarterback, and this is not in any way, shape, or form me saying kids shouldn't be paid, because we're long since past that. These kids, they're the reason we go watch games. We don't watch the players to walk up and down, the coaches to walk up and down the sidelines. We go to watch the players play. And I still love the sport on Saturdays. But a top-tier quarterback in college football is going to command $3 million plus, maybe $4 million, maybe $5 million. Sam Levitt, who transferred from Arizona State to LSU, I think is getting $6.5 million. So the kinds of cash that we're seeing doled out. Jeremiah Smith told me, the receiver from Ohio State, who I think is the best player in college football, said if he wanted to go on the open market this past year, I know Miami was certainly interested, which is where he's from, he could have gotten $10 million, he said. And so, and you hear the clutter or not the chat about maybe the collective bargain model is the way to go. And I'm not necessarily saying that won't work, but if I'm an athlete right now, are you going to be on board with that? If you're making $5, $6, could potentially make $10 million? I don't know. I don't know if I would be on board with that.
Right. I do know. I would not be. I get to move every year. And it's an open market and bidding. Why would I limit that? There was a time, maybe 10 years ago, when Northwestern players wanted to do it. There was still some upside they were chasing, so there's something they could get. But now they're getting everything, so why would they agree to that? It doesn't make any sense to me at all that they would sign up for that.
Yeah. Which is why I balk at the idea that that's going to fix everything. I'm not saying it's not something that should be explored in some way, shape, or form, but I don't think it's the end-all answer. And I don't know what the end-all answer is. and that it's where we are. I mean, this thing was kicked down the road. The can was kicked down the road forever, and now it really is total chaos, anarchy. As I think one president called it anarchy, and it's Congress is involved. You got the Safe Sports College Sports Act, but to me, anything that stunts a player's ability to move or his ability to make more money or cap what his income is going to be legally challenged. That's going to be challenged in court, and it's going to continue to happen. So, outside of a total antitrust exemption, I don't know if that's ever going to happen that the NCAA gets. I think we're seeing we have been seeing the beginning and the end to the NCAA and what type of organization or what it looks like. Even Dabo Swinney, who back in 2014 famously said, well, they're going to pay athletes, I'll go do something else. Well, even he's saying now, well, maybe there needs to be a players association maybe there needs to be a super league or a league that's 50 or 60 teams that have its own governance, its own commissioner, its own playoff. I do think we're going to be moving to some semblance of a model like that in college football. I don't know what the timetable is, but boy, when you have things like this happen, I don't think there's anything that's out of the realm of possibility. I really don't.
And Chris, I'm an Arizona State grad. You had to bring up Levitt, didn't you?
Yeah, and that's one of those things where you had the Liz Frank injury last year. He's had 2 surgeries. And he's making all that money, and I know Lane said he's running now, but we'll see where he is health-wise when the season starts. So even a kid like that who's had some issues injury-wise, Miami was willing to pay him, Tennessee was willing to pay him,
sure.
LSU finally got him, and he's making a ton of cash. So yeah, the movement. I think the thing if you look at that Save College Sports bill, the thing to me. The 2 things that make the most sense, and I don't know if they'll ever hold up, are the 5 to play 5. Because guys, I don't know about you, but I really don't want to watch 25 and 26-year-olds play college sports. I just don't, especially a kid who's played a couple of years of pro ball in Europe or whatever. The other thing is you said a minute ago, playing at 3 or 4 different schools. All right, I can make another $800,000, so I'm going to go here the next year and then there the next year, because the emotional attachment, and here's what I think. I know the viewership is still high and people are watching on Saturdays, but what's it going to be like 2, 3, 4 years now if this continues? Because the emotional attachment to college sports, having a team that you watch grow together for 2 or 3 years, almost the soul of college sports, we're starting to lose that.
Yeah, we definitely see it here. The 2 of us have been here long enough. We remember that exact scenario at the University of Utah. And obviously they won big, and they went to an NCAA title game in basketball in 1998. And that was the whole story of the 90s, watching those teams grow together and those guys. And that could never be replicated now. And the arena was packed, and people loved it. And they're not winning now, and obviously that's the biggest piece of the equation. But it's just a totally different vibe. And they got a player from that era back trying to rejuvenate that because it was so special to Alex Jensen, but even he's acknowledged, man, the rules are just so different now. It's just And
I tell my kids who are in the 20s, they look at me like I got 4 heads, and I know it's never going to go back to those days. But Michael Jordan played 3 years of college basketball, in North Carolina. Ralph Sampson, who was the college basketball player of the year twice, played 4 years.
Yeah, Tim Duncan's not walking through that door.
Yeah, those days are over of teams like that, kids playing together and growing together. And I think that's what, as a guy going on 61, I still love the games. I get up on Saturday mornings and I can't wait. And the product is great. I'm not one of those get off my lawn guys. But the part I miss the most is seeing teams grow and seeing kids develop together and knowing, hey, this kid is a really promising freshman for us. And I can't wait to see what he does next year and how much he grows. And then the next year, and we're going to get in this receiver and see those guys grow together. It's junior college every year now. And I don't know. That just does not appeal to me as much.
Chris, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
You bet, guys. Anytime.
All right, there's Chris Lowe from On3, senior national college football writer. What is trending? All the headlines are next.
If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's everand.com/listen.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
To kids, summer isn't just time off. It's time spent building confidence and curiosity. But when school meals pause, millions of kids lose access to the food they count on during the school year. As a neighbor-led network, Feeding America is deeply rooted in every community, ensuring summer meals continue nourishing growth and potential. Your support puts healthy food within reach, fueling the future for kids and their families. Give now at feedingamerica.org/summerhunger.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
Hands back to Brunson center. Hands back to Brunson, center court logo. Right wing, matched up with Castle. 3 to shoot. Brunson to the foul line. Pulls up for a floater. Front rim and in. And the Knicks have their first lead with 1:22 to go in the fourth quarter. 5.7 left. No timeouts remaining. Anunoby is handed the ball. Finds Brunson at midcourt. Launches a straight on 3. Missed it short. Tip by Anunoby. He put it in. Anunoby put it in. The Knicks take the lead with 1.2 to go. Anunoby out of nowhere. Bridges on Vassell. Hart on Castle. Robinson on Wembanyama. Pass toward the middle. Caught by Castle. Dropped by Castle. His shot is blocked by Hart. And the New York Knicks just pulled off the biggest comeback win in NBA Finals history. From down 29, they take a 3-1 series lead, stunning the Spurs 107-106.
What a beautiful mess of a game. The Knicks are up 3-1 after coming back from 29 down. How many people left, PK? Like that poor dude who hit the brake lights when Kirk Gibson's home run?
Didn't look like there were many, though. But I wasn't there.
Yeah,
so.
right. I figured it had to be somebody 40 rows up who left. You're right. The courtside stars were all there. They were gawking after the game.
She was there. That's all that mattered.
Nice. Where would you like to start in that missed 3 turnover salad disaster of a game?
Well, I think you start at the end and go backward.
Well, maybe the layup with 10 seconds left wasn't not only not the best idea, it wasn't even like the 14th best idea or the 41st best idea.
Sure, you're assuming he makes both free throws.
No, I'm not. I'm not that because I had just watched Wemby miss free throws, but I take my chances dribbling more time off the clock.
Take my chances, baby. I risk it all. Oh, I don't know that the clock played, but I get the point. It was not the right move because it didn't go in. If it had gone in, it would have been, oh, great. No one would be talking about it. If Brunson came down and hit a 3 and they lost in overtime, no one would be saying anything. OG Wananobi, whatever you say his name, had a clear path.
Yes.
I wonder if they had like a 7'4" guy who would have been in the play and maybe be at the rim.
Huh.
But I needed him to guard Brunson.
Yes, who he did intimidate Brunson into a low percentage shot.
Right, because he knew that the lane would be wide open. There would be nobody there.
Why were they doubling? If you got Wemby on him, you don't need a second guy on him.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
He wasn't that. Who was a Fox? He wasn't going to box out OG.
in all the terrible things that happened, that was great by Anunoby to inbound the ball and don't stand there and be a spectator on the play.
No, he ran right to the basket.
All the way to the hoop.
It was the Red Sea.
It was a clear path.
Yeah.
And there was no foul.
But there was mentally.
Oh, mentally there were a million of them. Oh, my gosh.
Wemby's 7-4. He
mistakes.
gags on the 2 free throws. He gagged on the turnover in Game 2. And then he's flat-footed in the biggest rebound that he could have ever gotten in his life. He's only 22, so he'll have plenty more. But he's flat-footed, and this man who's nothing but hustle goes flying in. Now, it worked to where it went to
it came to him, right, yeah.
But still.
You got to give yourself a chance by getting in there and getting in the
Do I want my
mix.
7'4" guy guarding the shortest guy on the court?
Well, he had 36 points and was killing you, so yeah, there is an argument that you actually needed to take him out of the play. But when the shot goes up...
But they didn't take him out of the play. Wemby took himself out of the play.
When the shot goes up, you got to turn around and go get the ball. You can't turn around and stare or jog.
And he's flat-footed.
Yes, he was. And he was 4 of 18 shooting the ball in the last 3 quarters. And then there were times where he's volleying and tipping. It's like, grab the ball and dunk it. You're 7'4". And he's playing below the rim, slapping at it. I didn't understand
I think
it
they
at
were
all.
3 of 17 from 3 in the second half because some nerds said you have to take threes.
Taking terrible shots. Champagny took one as part of the Knicks 10-0 run to start the third quarter and give him life. He's 1-on-2. He's got no rhythm. He's way behind the line. There's no offense. It's like 20 on the shot clock. They just throw the ball ahead, and he just launches it before his team gets there. It was horrific.
Yeah, they were hot in the first half. But
they were also getting
great.
Yeah, but they were getting great looks in the first half. Everything you say about, well, you can take them if your feet are set and if you're open. They got so many great looks. Legler was saying it. He wasn't jumping up and down. He's like, the Knicks have to get better contests. You're up 2-1 at home. Try to compete in the first 24 minutes. Great that you didn't roll over in the second half and, full credit for the comeback and all that. But you did it to yourself in the first half. That wasn't nearly a good enough effort. And the effort was way better in the second half. And I think whoever lost that game was inevitably going to say, man, we really butchered it. Now, it turns out the Knicks got the tip in and got the win, so they don't have to say that. But they would have said it if they hadn't gotten that because that was a terrible first 24.
Sure, that's sports.
And then the Spurs. Brutal. Sit here all morning and list all the things that went wrong. Fox throwing the ball out of bounds for no apparent reason. Fox throwing the ball to Hart for no apparent reason, and then Hart missing a layup or a dunk or not being able to pick between the two, whatever went wrong there. Blowing a tire with 2 minutes to go in a 1-point game. But in the end, the Knicks are up 3-1, and they are just a game away. LeBron James was asked about the inevitable GOAT debate surrounding him and Michael Jordan during a recent interview with Time, part of a wide-ranging interview. Quote, I'm not taking nobody over me, there's no question, but I think Michael will say the same thing. Rest is cold. Kobe will say the same thing. Magic will say the same thing. Bird will say the same thing. Shaq could say the same thing. The late, great Wilt, Kareem. I don't think none of us are going to take somebody else. If there's a general manager and he's eyeballing us all on the baseline with the number 1 pick, it's going to be hard not to take me, champ.
Champ?
I guess that's what he said at the end of his quote, yeah. Comma, champ, closed quote.
But who cares?
Lots of people because they like to debate this, but I get your point. At the end of the day, you get any one of these people that he just listed on your team, you're thrilled. And you're winning multiple championships.
I'd have him at best 4th.
MJ won. What about Bill Russell?
No, didn't see him play. Not my era. There's 8 teams in the league. I'm not discounting what he did, but not for me. No, I put Abdul in there. I put Magic in there. I put Kobe in there. Yeah, I'm a Laker homer. I said it.
There it is. All right, DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Well, now the details are out. We told you yesterday Patrick Mahomes reworking his contract, freeing up millions of bucks for Kansas City this year. I think it was about $10 million he freed up. It extended his deal through 2033. It adds $239 million onto the deal, and it raises the overall contract value to a record $504.75 million. And it might be renegotiated again. Who knows?
Man, 3 or 4 more contracts like that, and he'll be in Cody Campbell territory as the richest Texas Tech alum.
Move over, Cody. See how much of that he actually collects and how the deal gets reworked over time. Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson said he hopes to become a starting quarterback again after recovering from a pair of Achilles tendon injuries that have sidelined him since October of 2024. I think each and every person that walks into the locker room should have the mindset you want to start in this league. That's why we show up each and every day, to be able to go out there and be able to perform on Sundays or whatever day the game is. So, yeah, it's definitely the main focus of why I work hard to be able to come back.
I'll give you one each and every, but not two.
Two each and everys. You already covered each and every. You don't need to go back to each and every again because you have each and you have every.
Right, so I'll give you one per statement, but not two.
He's not going to start again, is he? Sean Watson?
Start it and keep it. Quarterback on the team, he should.
Feels like Cleveland will rotate through quarterbacks here for a year and then draft again next year and start over again in that what is supposed to be a quarterback-heavy draft. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
It's because the college football world doesn't think that Texas Tech should be as good as we are. And so we're a target. And we have been even before any of this started. Now, the volume has gone way up. If this had happened at LSU, people would say, it's LSU.
Brendan Sorsby is recovering from an addiction. He's recovering. I've sat down with this young man multiple times, and the things that he is going through and what he's been through is serious. As a society, we've been okay with other things that happens and allowing players to play, and this has been the one thing that has united people that we're against, and it's crazy because it's not murder, it's not beating somebody, so there's a lot of things that we're working through.
First Cody Campbell, then Joey McGuire as Texas Tech defends themselves against seemingly all of college football. Texas Tech has reportedly warned people and schools that may want to sanction them that they intend to challenge anything of that variety in the courts and could seek another injunction to prevent implementation.
Well, the 15 murderers who actually played college football, I'm shocked that happened. That should have never happened. And then, be the victim, Cody. That's it. If this was LSU, everybody would be cheering them and they would be playing. Of course. We're the victim. Nobody likes us.
Nobody outside of Texas Tech was buying anything Cody had to say there, were they?
This is a week of people who shouldn't play the victim playing the victim.
Everybody was against Texas Tech? Okay. Texas Tech AD Kirby Hocutt put out a letter against Sorsby that says, in part, the situation is hard, it's new, and there is no perfect answer. He went on to make it clear Texas Tech was not part of the injunction process, adding Texas Tech is not a party to Brendan's lawsuit. We did not file it. We did not fund it.
But we allowed them to play because we want to win. Finish the statement.
That is what they're planning on doing. Clearly.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to win games. The courts ruled that he's eligible. If his mental and physical health allow him to play, we're going to play him because we want to win. Family on three.
Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark expected to meet with his executive committee today, which includes BYU President C. Shane Reese. They are expected to discuss options with regards to the Sorsby situation ahead of meeting with all 16 university presidents and chancellors next week on the matter.
So. Seen Shane Reese go.
This is meeting number 2 out of 3. What will they do?
Have a meeting.
Yeah. I suspect the process is AD's made suggestions. Executive Council will come up with one or maybe a couple of
Executive Council.
I think it's a small group of the presidents, but not all 16.
It's a group of 3. Shane Reese and the 2 Kansas
waste
schools.
Of time.
And then they'll tell the whole group what to do rather than have the whole group argue about every possible option.
There's one option. 2, suspend them or don't.
What about ban them from postseason play?
What's the point at that point?
Well, they want to play in the playoffs. It might intimidate them into not playing them during the regular season. I mean, it'll go to court, and then they'll find out if it works or not.
No. That's he can play 12 games or 10, 13, but he can't play the final 2 or 3. That doesn't make any sense.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Into the windup. Here's the pitch. Fernando swings, hits it on a line deep to left field. Bleday's going back. This one gonna go! A line drive, game-winning home run, just over the fence in left. And Fernando's second of the year, a game winner against the Reds.
Bases loaded, nobody out. The pitch. swinging. There's a high drive down the right field line, deep into the corner. It's a grand slam! I can't believe it! The 21-year-old Eldridge has electrified Oracle Park. It's a game-ending grand slam!
Yeah, at that moment, they thought they had the best comeback of the day. Knicks hadn't done their thing yet, but the Giants were trailing Washington 9-1 going to the eighth inning. 5 in the eighth, 5 in the ninth. The walk-off grand slam down 10-7. They win at 11-10.
Yeah, he's supposed to be their number one prospect, so.
The future.
Bryce Eldridge is his name, so we'll see what he's able to do.
Shohei Ohtani's ERA is now up over 1. It went from 0.74 to 1.06. Gave up 4 runs, 3 earned. Dodgers lose to Pittsburgh 9-8. They had a 5-run lead. And Pittsburgh rallies in the 7th and goes on to win the game.
I would send him to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you got to get him dialed in.
I would demote him.
Get him out of the spotlight where he's clearly not comfortable.
Bum.
You're going on rehab.
He did hit a home run in the 9th. To make it a 1-run game. It was a wild game. It was flicking back and forth.
Pittsburgh with 3 in the 7th, 5 in the 8th to go up 9-6. Yeah, and then win at 9-8. Toronto Blue Jays, Max Scherzer reaches the 3,500 career strikeout milestone as Toronto loses to Philly 7-4. Well into Hall of Fame territory for Max Scherzer, right? Just waiting for the retirement date, 5 years out. Plug him in.
Seems like he's got the numbers that require a hit.
Chicago White Sox, who lost 324 games over 3 years while building themselves back up, now lead the AL Central. They beat Atlanta 2-1. First place, how sweet it is after 3 brutal years.
That's the point.
Yep. 5 games over 500. Battling Cleveland there at the top of the division. Kansas City Royals right-hander Seth Lugo took a 106-mile-an-hour line drive to his forehead off the bat of Brandon Nimmo in their 6-4 loss to Texas. He was able to get up and leave the field without assistance. You have pointed this out consistently, PK, that pitchers are at risk. The ball is hit so hard. They're 60 feet, 6 inches away, but when they follow through coming to the plate, they're 56, 55 feet away, whatever it is. How can you possibly have reaction time and get the glove up every single time?
Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to die.
We saw a base coach killed, and it changed the rule on base coaches and batting helmets and that. And why can't they have a mask on? You see it in a college softball. And if you're watching the World Series, you see it. They change the rules on that all the time. Why not?
I don't know.
Bees beat the Aces 9-7. They'll go again tonight at 7:30. You can listen on 1280 The Zone with Tony Parks on the call. DJ and PK. World Cup starts today. Mexico and South Africa at 1 o'clock. And South Korea and, I want to say Czech Republic. It's Czechia now?
Now known as Czechia.
Czechia, 8 o'clock, the second game. U.S. will start tomorrow. Canada will start tomorrow. But it begins now and goes on for a little more than a month. DJ and PK.
#golf.
The RBC Canadian Open underway, north of the border. TPC Toronto. Tony Finau, Mike Weir already on the course. Patrick Fishburne, the other local in the field. So there's your golf for the weekend, north of the border. DJ and PK.
#NHL.
Stanley Cup Final, game number 5. They're back in North Carolina now. Carolina's up. Carolina 2-2 after winning game 4. We're all tied up. Best 2 out of 3 series. I don't know how they topped the excitement of last night, but it's been a pretty wild and thrilling series. So maybe they got some more craziness, some more OT, another blown 2-goal lead. Who knows? What is next?
That's the point of watching.
Yep, 6 o'clock tonight, ABC. That's what's trending. Brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. No job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Matt Brown, founder and publisher of the Extra Points newsletter covering college football, joins us at 8 o'clock. Brian Geltzeiler, SiriusXM NBA radio host and NBA TV contributor at 9 o'clock on the classic collapse in New York and the Knicks' wild rally and victory. DJ and PK, we have the question of the day next. All about the comebacks. Stay with us.
This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeComb.
Come on, this is a guy that fully admitted that he had gambled. He had over $90,000 worth of bets, many including games that he was playing in, teams that he was on, teams that he had insight into game plans, and the injunction is granted. You will see Brendan Sorsby unless an appeal is made, and they're banking on the fact that this injunction will remain in effect until something can happen, and that won't be until after the season is over. So Brendan Sorsby may be playing college football, folks.
The problem in a nutshell is this. We've done this to ourselves.
Oh, yeah. This is self-inflicted.
We have absolutely done this to ourselves. It is in a thirst for right now we got to win because everybody's in an arms race and everybody's trying to compete so hard, and we've lost our frickin' way.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, it's your ceiling vent, so I'm dripping. Could be the rain, could be the upstairs bathroom. Yikes. You could hire the guy your neighbor recommended, but I'm pretty sure that's just his cousin. Do we know if he's licensed, or does he just own a ladder?
Listen to your home. Go with Thumbtack. Upload a photo or voice note, and we'll diagnose your project and match you with the right pro for the job. Thumbtack. We know homes. Hire the right pro today.
Join Scotty G and the coach Tim LeComb tomorrow 10 to 2 at Tim Dolly Mazda, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive in South Jordan. How about the Knicks comeback? OMG, that is the question of the morning.
Instead of MSG, it is OMG.
OMG at MSG. Mark, your original post sure aged well. I didn't see the original post.
So what I like to do...
You put up something at halftime about the Spurs blowout?
No, I've done this multiple times. About, I think at the start of the fourth quarter, to bring people in, and then to get them excited, and then just simply
people cruising around social media and commercial break or whatever. Yeah, okay.
I've done it, and it worked. Yeah.
So what'd you put up?
What happened to the Knicks, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Just along those lines, and then you change it, and people get all excited about it. Yeah, sure. It's a ploy to bring people in. It's obvious I do it. And I try to get them in earlier than waiting until the end. Because, I mean, anybody can tell you what happened, but the fun part is to try to get them emotionally involved earlier in. And then they always come back. So, yeah, that's what I've done.
Tony says, can you say the most epic choke job of all time? Irregardless if they win or lose, a 29-point lead, 15 points after 3 quarters, up 20 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Epic mess.
If you want to go that way, and when Wembanyama missing the 2 free throws, I mean, in a game like this, everything counts, right? It's all magnified. And you can I don't know that you can put one play over the next as, that was more important. But
that's a big one. That's the kind of thing when that happens, I'm sitting there like, well, the basketball gods aren't going to let you win after you do that. Although, to be fair, when Fox threw the ball to nobody in particular at midcourt and Hart took off and missed the layup that would have given the lead with 2 minutes to go, I thought, well, when the basketball gods, they're not going to let you win after you do that.
Yeah, he got
Somebody's
in between laying
it
up and dunking it.
Yep.
And you got to be decisive. You're going to do one or the other. And he took off and wasn't quite ready, close enough to dunk it, and so he was a little awkward there. That would have been a massive play.
That would have been a massive play, but he gets past because they won the game.
Mm-hmm.
As far as all-time collapses, isn't Mets, Red Sox, Game 6, little dribbler up the line through Buckner's legs? Because it wasn't just that play. I mean, that's a play everyone remembers, but it was everything that happened in the inning leading up to that. It was in the half inning, not making the substitution and getting Buckner out. I want to win with my guys, and you didn't put your best defensive team on the field when you were 3 outs away from winning. So I always thought that was up there as an all-time collapse.
Okay.
This has to go up there as an all-time collapse.
Yeah, no question.
The people were going to the Super Bowl, the Falcons, all-time collapse, 28-3 over the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
I couldn't recall one play from that game.
There's a big 2-point conversion in it. But you're right, it's a blur in the comeback. But those are 3 that came to my mind right away.
Sure.
The Houston Oilers went to Buffalo and blew a 35-3 game.
Rats.
in the playoffs. Matthew sees all the positives in it. What an epic game. The atmosphere was electric in the fourth quarter. Watching Seinfeld at the end was awesome, along with Adam Sandler. Celebrities gawking. Fired Matthew up.
Well, in that moment, outside of the proximity to the court, they're just fans.
Yep.
Now, they have the wherewithal and the financial means to get as close as possible to the floor. The rest of us don't. But other than that, we've seen that plenty of times where they are just Joe fan, Mary fan. And you're dealing with a lot of people who are from that area and have been there for a long time, if not literally natives, so they get fired up about it. I've accepted that that's the way it is, going to all the Laker games over the years and being in the finals, literally covering finals games.
You've seen more stars than you can list right now.
Yeah.
And there were more stars last night than you could list right now.
And they just become regular people caught up. Either they're caught up in the moment, and I'm not going to say Taylor Swift's some lifelong Knicks fan when you see her at the Cavs games with her husband-to-be who's from Cleveland, and so they get excited. But there are plenty that have literally been lifelong Knicks fans because that's where they're from and that's where they've lived their whole lives. I understand that. So, yeah, it's cool to see them, I guess, but they're no different than the people in the top row who've been Knicks fans their whole lives at that moment. They're just or they're famous. The other people aren't.
Steve says, imagine being up by as many as 29 points and feeling like you still have to hoist up 15 three-pointers and only 22-point attempts, and you scored only 4 points in the paint with a 7-4 phenom on your team. Today's NBA basketball is unwatchable.
I don't understand it. To me, it's not unwatchable. Sometimes in the regular season, it gets boring if they're clanking them. I just don't understand the logic. I never will. It doesn't make any sense to me. When you have the lead, why waste possessions? Why not try to go up 39?
It makes no sense at all to shoot a really low percentage shot. The one before it goes in, anybody could identify it as a low percentage shot, and you're taking it with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Because they're wasting possessions because they think they've got a big lead. It's the only thing I could think of.
And starting to panic a little bit already. Even though the shot I'm thinking of right now is early third quarter, there was already a little.
A wide open three is a low percentage shot.
That I think can be debated, but we don't have to debate it because that's not what was happening.
The numbers show it. Doesn't mean it's a bad shot. It's a low percentage shot.
I don't want to argue math with you right now about 3 is more than 2 and effective field goal percentage. I mean, I get your point is that you're
talking about the shot.
50% on a two-pointer.
I'm talking about the effective
35 on a 3.
Effective this. The percentages it's lower.
But the reward is
higher. The closer you are, it's going to be a higher percentage. I'm not saying whether it's a bad shot or not the smart shot. I'm just speaking, you two, and we'll be on here tomorrow. You two will, and I'll just sit here when you and Locke go to town. I usually text Jake on that. We have conversations back and forth if you want to know the truth while you two are going to town because you all know basketball. And the numbers show guys who build their careers on numbers, it's a lower percentage shot. That doesn't mean it's a bad shot. I'm just talking strictly numbers.
Their second half shots were not only low percentage, they were lower than typical, and they were bad shots.
Okay.
That's
another story,
I thought
though.
they were making bad choices out there early in the shot clock.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying that it is by definition, it's a low percentage shot.
Jessica, so a lot of people did react. A lot of these are about why the Knicks lost as I read them. They burned their core out the first 2 games. The backup role players look lost, the ones that have not played enough. Referring to the Knicks. This is why the Knicks have dug the hole.
Right, and see, I think it's fun to do that. That's why I put it up early or earlier.
So be warned, people. He'll do it again if you give him the chance.
Yeah. Well, there's a blowout.
Saturday night.
I've done that. Yeah.
Be ready.
And then they go, and then you change it.
Melody says the Spurs let that one get away. That was crazy. And the Knicks owe OG bonus money. OG was really good. He capped it with a good play, but he had a really good game. He's
a hustle guy.
Yeah, when a lot of people on both teams were not covering themselves in glory. He was. He was a really strong performance by him.
He is a meat and potatoes player.
Yeah. And
he's
delivered.
just going to ball. He's going to give you everything he has, and then they're going to interview him afterward on the floor, and he's going to act like it was the middle of January. I love the guy.
33 points. 7 of 9 from 3. He had it going. But 3 of 6 from 2 and 6 of 6 at the line.
Oh, if they win this series, and obviously they got to win 1 of 3, he'll go down in lore. In New York Knicks lore. He will be forever remembered in the biggest city that we have in this country, and he will be, for the rest of his life, held in such high esteem. And good for him, man.
Yeah.
I love guys who are kind of junkyard dogs, just out there. If a wall is there and you can't go around it and you need to do something to get the ball, you go through it. And he does. I don't know how you don't love the guy. And he doesn't bring a claim to himself. He's not hooping and hollering, look at me, beating his chest, pulling his jersey back so I could see his heart instead of his con-canipple. Right? Does he do any of that?
No, I don't think so. I think he's more...
he's old school.
that was exactly the phrase I was going to go through. Yeah.
Who doesn't like that?
OG.
How are you not a fan of this man?
OG is the OG.
I mean, if you're a Spurs fan, I get it, but I'm not either or. I mean, I have a preference for the Knicks because of my history.
Yeah, I think he's really popular in New York. He gives it up on the defensive end. At the start of the series, I was hearing all kinds of stuff about matchups and who he's defending and how good a job he does on people, including Wemby. It's like he'll just go out there and compete. It's old school. It's Jerry Sloan would love to coach the guy. I mean, generationally, they're obviously wrong, but he's got that.
Sure. He's a Jerry Sloan guy.
Yeah, he's got that spirit. So, and then he gets the game-winning tip on top of it.
But he has the intelligence to go speeding down the middle,
well,
and knowing that Wemby's way over there, and the Spurs got a bunch of 6'5" guys outside of Wemby.
They had him inbound the ball because they trust him in that situation. We've seen that messed up with someone making a terrible inbounds pass.
Sure, but they don't even guard the inbounds pass. Nope. The Knicks guard the inbounds pass, and Towns gets a finger on it. That slows up the play.
Yeah, straight to the rim.
Yeah.
Straight to the rim.
Right.
The harder you work, the luckier you get.
If OG wants it before they take off to San Antonio, he can get free pizza in the city today.
Free pie, right? No one calls it pizza?
Pie? A slice. They if you want the whole thing.
Okay. So if you want a slice, I want a slice.
This is no time to eat a whole pie.
Can't be weighted down like that.
Wait a couple days. Get the win Sunday.
Yeah. He is, for the series now, he's averaging 24 points a game. He's shooting 58% from the floor and 55% from the three-point line and 91% from the free throw line.
Guy's a baller.
Wow. Having a series.
I appreciate what he brings and what he does. I just like the fact that he works.
And the Knicks fans are really appreciating it right now.
I just love that he works. So the stats are great. There's no doubt about it. These stats that you just read are great.
But they love him for all the other stuff he does and the way he'll play at the defensive end of the floor and on down the line.
Never give up.
Nope.
That's what you want, man. And then this way, if you lose, well, you got nothing to be ashamed about. I don't think.
You left it all out there.
Yeah, and he does. Yeah. And then he just stands there. Yeah, well, the lane was open, and
he's playing 37 minutes a game, and he's had 2 turnovers in the entire series. And that's why he inbounds the ball. They can trust him. He's not going to cough that thing up. Let's see. More feedback coming in about the Knicks. This is... Spurs hit a record 14 threes in the first half. They had the biggest lead on the road ever. In the finals, Jesse is stunned by the sheer magnitude of the collapse.
Well,
I think we all are.
I can see that.
You could say it as many different ways with as many different stats as you want.
Actually, sure, we're stunned in a sense, but as it's happening, you're not stunned.
No, the whole time
because you don't go from 29 to 2.
Well, at 29, I was thinking as the lead hit 25 and then it bounced around, it was starting to head back to 20. I was thinking how many times you sat here and said, a 20-point lead in the NBA isn't safe anymore. If the guys are if they're cold from three, it's a disaster. But if they got any kind of a roll at all from three, you hit 4 or 5 of them, and you're right back in the game. And you know they can. It's part of the lure why they keep shooting.
As long as the other guy isn't.
Right. And the Spurs took the lead. I mean, when the lead was going double digits, I think it was like 31-20 or something at one point, and there was a graphic up. They said they're 6 of 8 from three. And then I think it was 31-17. And I think the Knicks at that point were like 2 of 6 or 2 of 7 from three. Kind of a normal number for the Knicks. A little cool, but not a big deal. I think the difference in the game right now is 4 3-pointers. This is 12 points. It'd be 19-17, and nobody think anything of it. And the problem at that point was the Knicks had a ton of lethargy, and the Spurs were getting great looks. They were passing the ball 3, 4, 5 times, again, wide open shots.
Well, sure, they were great front runners.
So when the Knicks played better defense in the second half, I mean, to their credit, the best thing the Knicks did in this, you got to keep playing. But at 29, I got to remember thinking, well, we are well beyond PK's 20-point margin. You just don't see 29-point leads at. But they went on a 10-0 run early in the third, is back to 20, and there's still a quarter and a half
That's what I'm saying. It's not really a 29-point lead because that 10-0 run just eliminates that.
It's so fast. Yeah,
so then you got to go from that point, and then you go from that point. And it's stuck at 15 for a good while.
Right,
basically.
But 15 and a quarter was
that's what I'm saying.
doable.
It's doable, yeah, especially at home. You got the crowd and everything.
We see 35 to 20 quarters, so it could happen.
Yeah. And the Knicks have a history. They did it against Cleveland, and so they know to keep playing. And San Antonio has a history, this particular team, and maybe its youth, of gagging.
The Spurs scored 30 points in the second half.
Yeah.
30 points in 24 minutes. Totally opened the door for the Knicks. And the Knicks scored 58, and it turns out to be just enough. I did think that one of the better takes I heard, and I don't know who to credit it to, but
Me.
It wasn't you because I wasn't talking to you. We try to save it for the show. If we start talking the night before the show, we've done that. We've messed it up.
Yeah, I don't want pillow talk with you.
Yeah, dude. Stop. So, Yak loved it, though. Yak's in there. Yak's busting up. Low-hanging fruit, Yak.
I do the show for him.
Might as well.
He's the classic Utah.
Might as well.
He's also not joking that he legitimately texts me when you and Locke get on these diatribes.
Oh, I know. I see him over there doing it. Yeah.
He literally asked me, "How are you today?"
So the thought was that some of the blame for this, obviously Wemby deserves some blame, and Fox. Wemby's the best player. He misses 2 massive free throws. He's 4 of 18 in the last 3 quarters. So there's a bunch of blame for him. There's a bunch of blame for Fox. He had 2 brutal turnovers. He's the highest paid player. He's the adult in the room, all that kind of stuff. He went to the bucket with 10 seconds left when he could have tried to dribble out at least a portion of the clock before getting fouled and having to shoot big free throws. But that's, and obviously some
OG would have stole the ball from him.
Possibly, but I just didn't think going, OG's looming on your shoulder. Like, really? You think now's the time? With that guy looming? Okay, whatever.
He would have stole the ball if he didn't block it.
But the front office, that's a really young team, and they brought up, like when Kobe and Shaq were young and trying to get over the hump, and they had playoff struggles. They brought in Ron Harper, to a lesser degree Brian Shaw, but Ron Harper had won the championships and knew the coach and knew the system and could be the adult. And that the Warriors brought in Iguodala, and to a lesser degree brought in Sean Livingston, who like Shaw provided valuable minutes, didn't have the same resume. Where are the 2 guys like that? I mean, maybe you could say that Fox is the
guys on the bench, but they're not playing them.
I know. Well, they're not playing them. Are they good enough to have? Did they bring in the right guys? I mean, Olynyk's sitting over there. He's a big, not a guard. Did they bring in the right kind of guard? And will they need to add somebody like that in the offseason?
And then they sit Harper.
Which makes no sense.
They've done it multiple times.
I know.
This Mitch Johnson, he's not going to go down as an illustrious MJ.
On your list of great MJs, he's going to be ways down the list. You got Michael Jordan. You got Michael Jackson.
Magic Johnson.
That's 3. He's 4th at best. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Matt Brown at 8 o'clock. Stay with us.
Welcome to This is Chase Scott and Ben Anderson.
John Kurtz joins us. You can find his podcast, Open for Business, the Big 12 podcast, talking about the Sorsby trial. I don't think anybody expected him to be available to play next year, and now that looks exactly to be the case.
Texas Tech already had a lot of attention on them, but that has ratcheted up about tenfold now. And, I mean, you talk about being the villain. From a Big 12 perspective, Tech thumped everybody minus Arizona State last year, so you're tired of losing to them. So you've got fans in the conference with a ton of built-up animosity velocity. And now you throw on top of that this situation with Brendan Sorsby. If they're going to have him playing quarterback, Texas Tech might as well line up. They should just dress as Darth Vader when they come out there. Forget the helmets, man. Get the Darth Vader mask and just wear those out on the field. Like, they are going to get more heat than any college football team that I can remember this year. People are going to be rooting very hard against them.
Catch Jake and Ben afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join Scotty G and the coach, Tim Lacombe, Monday the 15th. They're going to be in Nephi, Bar Dub Grill off exit 222 in Nephi. They'll be doing their show live on location from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about stopping there. I wasn't sure exactly which exit it was. I was going into the summer games and then coming back.
Well,
and
then put in your phone, Bar W Beef.
I should have. I know. I should have.
You got the GPS thing in your phone. Take it right to the front door.
It occurred to me as
smartphone.
It occurred to me as I was driving through town, but I was racing there to get there for the live shot, and then I came back and went through there early Saturday morning.
When you became a sports specialist.
Yes, it was on the sports specialist.
Sports specialist David James.
Yeah.
Say it with some gravitas there. Don't just spit it out.
Hackneyed blowhard PK. Joining us now.
Join us 9 to blow through the stop sign in Jeremiah Jensen's eyes at the Rose Bowl, Patrick Kinahan.
Wind him up and let him go. How about Big Vic? This is his darkest moment. He's only 22 years old, but he's running around. I'm in your head, I'm in your head, I'm in your head. And then you go to the free throw line, you clank two.
Yeah,
and then you're standing flat-footed in the biggest defensive rebound
of your career.
This iteration of the Spurs. Do you have to tell some Mitchell Robinson that you're in his head?
Nope.
Multiple times?
Taunting
up and down the floor?
Taunting the basketball gods.
You're Big Vic, and he's Mitchell Robinson.
You don't even make eye contact. Don't even talk to him. He's not worth your time. You're you. You're you. You're about, I don't know, probably going to play 15 more years, so you're 20 years away from your Hall of Fame induction.
How embarrassing.
Yeah, and he's out there trying not to hurt a broken finger.
And he's Mitchell Robinson, who the whole goal is to actually shoot a free throw that's above 10 feet, so it has a chance to go in.
Hack a Mitchell Robinson there early in the third. Was it late third? It was third quarter. Anyway.
His free throws are fast break opportunities for the other team.
Keep your eyes up and get your hands up because that rebound might hurt somebody.
He might as well do a shot put thing where he twirls around 3 times.
Yeah. Staggering at the free throw line.
And Big Vic is telling us he's in his guy's head, who's a nobody. He's in the NBA, but still.
You're right, Big Vic. And it's going to come back to haunt you. Yeah. People are going to mock this moment.
And then you're at the free throw line, and you can't even make one.
You just take the OG Anunoby attitude. Just head down, keep plowing forward. Celebrate after you win.
Bottom line is you don't mess with people from the metropolitan area. It doesn't turn out good.
Not the tri-state area. You can mess with Connecticut. But the metro area, more New York and Jersey.
I'm talking a grimy area. The people from the grimy
Not your
areas.
Beautiful upstate stuff.
Yeah, not where you're one of the 10 richest counties in the world.
Somewhere where the sun never hits the pavement all day long because the skyscrapers are so big.
Yeah, if I ever where I grew up, if I saw a blade of grass, I wouldn't know what it was.
Then how'd you play all that baseball you tell us about?
Because that's the perception, but it's not even close to reality. You get 30 miles out, you're in the country. It's just like here, people can't get past, they don't understand. I live 10 miles from Snowbird. I can go in the woods, in creeks, and so forth, in canyons, in minutes. It's hard for people to imagine that, but that's what you got there.
Yeah, the first time my sister-in-law came out, she said, we just went through like 5 different microclimates in like 35 minutes. How did that happen?
And you know, my family, we've never once discussed microclimates.
I was surprised when she used that word. It always stuck with me. Like, ooh, we're talking microclimates.
That's the educated.
That's literally the first time I met her.
The highfalutin society that you grew up in.
She's like your sister with the advanced degrees.
But you
super
grew up
smart.
with 2 college-educated parents. I grew up with 0.
I did.
Yeah. That's a difference between me and you.
True story.
Yeah. That's where my perspective is looking up. Your perspective is looking down.
That's not true.
And who's looking down now? Are the Spurs out of it? Because I could say no, they're not. You have to somehow block it out. You have to muster that inner strength mentally.
Well, what they're telling themselves now, whether it works or not, is they're going to have 2 days to get really mad at themselves, and they'll have their crowd amping them up. We've seen plenty of times where
they're 0-2,
where a team's down 3-1 and they're coming home. And, yeah, you're not going to lose every home game forever. I mean, you're going to – so they win Game 5. Now they're coming back to the Garden saying we just have to get this because the Knicks want no part of a Game 7 back in San Antonio, which no team in that position should. So you got to figure out at that point how to win Game 6 at the Garden, and you can pull the shocker. So you can talk yourself and rationalize yourself into it.
But I view the Knicks, I mean, come on. The Spurs have folded. They'll fold again. They won a Game 7 on the road. We've had 2 closeouts on the Game 7s that were the road team has won. It's not anybody's game, but if I'm a longtime Knick fan, I do have a little bit of history there going way back as a youngster. This is no time to celebrate.
Agree with that. Finish. What was Kobe's line? Finish the job. Job's not done. That's what he said. Job's not done.
Right.
Oh, but you're up 3-1. You got another one. Job's not done.
And with that in mind, I think you were up 2-0 when he said that.
Okay.
You are fortunate to we always say, well, you got to steal one on the road. Well, they've stolen 2. Game 2 and Game 4. And you have to think, I'm not one to act like the Spurs are dead. As long as you learn from these things, and even if it's not this year and you get a title next year or the year after, that's okay. Because if you go through stuff for the first time, you shouldn't be at your best. As long as you learn from it. That's a metaphor for life, really, that if you have a difficulty and you make some mistakes, you do some dumb things, if you learn from that and turn it into a positive, okay, I can live with that.
And given the situation they find themselves in now, the predicament they have put themselves in, that's probably the message they need to hear and the message they need to absorb. You got to learn from that.
Right.
You're taking a little longer view, and you can because you're doing a sports talk show, not coaching the team. The message has to be: learn from this. Just go win Game 5.
Right. Well, that's all that's all you can do.
Go win Game 5.
You can't win Game 6 until you win Game 5. So yeah, I understand that, but I do look at it as a developmental process here, going through it, and they are a bunch of younger guys, and they have this opportunity. Losing in the final this year, although it would be crushing, particularly in the manner in which you lost Game 2 and Game 4, I understand that completely, but it's not the end of the Spurs by any stretch. It's not the end of Victor Wembanyama by any stretch. There's plenty of time, given their youth, to redeem themselves. And I would suspect at some point in the next 5 years that they are going to get a title. And because of that, it's going to taste sweeter because of the struggle. That's the way it is, man. Any success you have that is on the backs of struggle is sweeter because you didn't give up and you fought through and you kept plowing and grinding.
Brian Geltzeiler, SiriusXM NBA radio host and NBAtv contributor, will join us at 9 o'clock. We will have more on the wild and wacky Game 4 of the NBA Finals and the Spurs collapse and the Knicks comeback. We'll get to all that with Brian Geltzeiler at 9 o'clock. Matt Brown, founder and publisher of the Extra Points newsletter covering college football. We'll talk with him about Texas Tech and the mess in the Big 12 and what Brett Yormark and the Big 12 president should do. And we will talk with him next. Stay with us.
Hey, it's your ceiling vent, so I'm dripping. Could be the rain, could be the upstairs bathroom. Yikes. You could hire the guy your neighbor recommended, but I'm pretty sure that's just his cousin. Do we know if he's licensed, or does he just own a ladder?
Listen to your home. Go with Thumbtack. Upload a photo or voice note, and we'll diagnose your project and match you with the right pro for the job. Thumbtack. We know homes. Hire the right pro today.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. We're joined by Matt Brown, founder and publisher of the Extra Points newsletter covering college football. Matt, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Thanks for coming on. We've had you on before. We follow the stuff you do. We see all the stuff on social media, people referencing stuff you do. We probably have about 100 different things we could ask you about. We could keep you here the rest of the show. But if we don't ask you about Texas Tech right out of the gate, we are completely losing the plot. What did you think initially when you heard the court decision? Were you just absolutely flabbergasted? Or were you more shocked when you heard how hard Texas Tech people are defending it?
It's a little of all of the above. So when I heard about this, I was at NACDA, which is this gigantic conference of athletic directors and people that work in college sports, and this huge industry gathering. And there's loads of people who work in the Big 12 and across college sports at this event. And I could see, like, with my own eyes and ears, people who are not prone to profanity or who are not prone to anger being more viscerally upset about this decision than anything I can remember in my career. Like, more than Michigan sign stealing, more than any of the other specific athletic scandals. I mean, I'm putting Baylor and Penn State aside as something completely different, but a lot of legitimate fury about this. I am a little surprised to see how quickly and how publicly institutions like Nebraska and Georgia and potentially the Big Ten and SEC are saying we don't want to play these guys anymore. But that isn't something that's really happened over the last couple of decades. But the overwhelming sense that I got from talking to ADs about this over the last 2 days, which is a lot of what I've been doing, is I cannot believe that a judge ruled this, and I cannot believe even more that Texas Tech thinks it's okay. If this is not the line that we can all agree on, then clearly one does not exist.
Oh, come on, Matt. It's not like they murdered anybody.
You know, that line of whataboutism was not effective when I would give that to youth ecclesiastical leadership or my parents when I was a teenager. And I think when you're pulling that out, it is a sign that you really did do something wrong. That's something that you might expect from a congressman who's been caught cheating on a spouse, or not some kind of principled defensive behavior. I think that is ridiculous, and quite frankly, somebody who works in higher education should know better.
A lot of people would like a way out right now. What is the easiest way out? Or forget easy way out, embrace the more difficult hard way out. What do you think?
There are no easy ways, right? And there's no easy ways, I think, about any of these existential questions that we've been talking about in college sports these last couple of years. If there were easy ways, we definitely would have done them now. One of the hard ways is the Big 12 Conference Office and Big 12 presidents and ADs have to get together and decide what kind of legal exposure are we comfortable with, knowing that there's a billionaire with lots of time on his hands on the other side of the table to try to enforce something. The NCAA may be barred from by a court or a legal order from saying the guy can't play, but that doesn't mean the Big 12 can't say that or the university can't say that. And so that's one potential angle here. But if you throw that out the door, there aren't any easy solutions. And mass collective action could very well be brought with other lawsuits. I know the popular talking point right now is like, well, if we had just passed this Protect College Sports Act, none of this would be happening because the NCAA would have the authority to be able to make this ban and there'd be no problems. I have talked to some attorneys that work in this world and a congressional staffer, and there's some doubt even about that because this is about a private contract, not necessarily about NCAA regulatory rights. I really don't think there's an easy way out of all of this beyond somehow the hearts of man changing and realizing, maybe I shouldn't be betting 900 times a day on professional sports or on the teams that I'm involved with.
Yeah, for sure. If we extrapolate in terms of this kid actually playing, what does that mean? What would open the door, sort of Pandora box for training now, or not training, gambling, I should say, going forward? Because where do you draw the line?
I legitimately, I think there is no line so long as you are financially prepared and have a jurisdiction to sue over it, right? I saw one of the Big 12 football coaches, I think a little bit facetiously saying, well, we're going to have to bring in some guys from Vegas and teach our guys how to gamble, and we'll kind of decide as a collective when we're going to play hard or not so we can maximize the spread because it's my job to prepare our athletes and help them. That, I think, is a little ridiculous. But what this will show is that any rule, meaning as long as you're not breaking federal law, is not really able to be enforced. There are lots of practical reasons why betting on your team or betting on college football, if you are a college football player, is very stupid and psychologically can mess with your performance, but not any real penalty, again, so long as you don't commit wire fraud. I don't know how widespread athlete behavior would be for this, but what really worries me, and I've said this in Extra Points, and I've said this on the air, and I know this is not a super controversial take in this market, but I am legitimately way more worried about gambling as an existential threat to college football than I am about anything about budgets, NIL, player compensation, labor classification, or the law. Because as soon as a meaningful number of fans no longer feel like every game is on the up and up, there's no more industry. And everything else can be difficult and challenging, but there are solutions to it. If people don't trust the product, you're back to boxing, which has been mostly irrelevant in mainstream American culture now for the last 70 years.
I wonder, and I don't think it's likely, but I wonder if there is somebody with a longer range vision in Sorsby's camp. I mean, he wants to play this year and get the $5 million. He probably, like every other college player, wants to play in the NFL. The NFL has to be watching this hubbub and think, oh, we are going to draw a line when he comes to us. We're not getting sucked into this. And they've shown that because they've got the collective bargaining agreement and the antitrust stuff, they can and have suspended people before. If you're playing the long game for the NFL, if you think you're that good, and there's probably a question about whether he's that good or not, but you could go to the NFL right now and say, hey, I'm thinking about not playing. This is too much. What's the deal? Have his lawyer set up. You're going to suspend him for a year. We'll just take it. We'll say all the right things and make you look good. He's going to have to sit out at some point anyway, and it might set him up better in the NFL. And NFL teams might think, oh, well, the kid's really growing up here and realizes he has a problem. I need to focus on myself for the next year. Yeah, I've got the legal right to do this, and I have a hard time believing after going all the trouble of doing this that they'll do anything other than try to play. But I do think the NFL's waiting, and they're going to drop the hammer.
Yeah, I think the argument that you're making here, I think could have very plausibly made sense 2 months ago. Yeah. But my understanding is that the deadline to file for the supplemental draft and whether we're going to have one or not is already passed. It would have been plausible to say, I'm going to take the year off, I'm going to work out, I'm going to stay in the hospital, and I'm going to see if the Browns will trade a third-round pick in the supplemental draft to take me, and I'll prepare that way. The cynical answer, I think, is, there's going to be concerns about the NFL, but we've seen a lot of people in the NFL who have done way worse things than this get picked highly and given extensions and given leeway. The question is how good you are. And I actually do think there is something to the idea that even if Sorsby is a top 8 NFL quarterback prospect in his class, maybe higher, that the psychological toll of all of this and then the enormous pressure and bullseye that's going to be on his back whenever he plays would damage his stock significantly. Because it's one thing to say, to get drafted on a hypothetical potential. But then if your last year of college tape is bad, if Texas Tech with their schedule, which is certainly not very strong, performs worse than they did last year, then you're looking at I made $5 million this year, and now I'm a 5th-round pick, and I'm on the Buccaneers or something. I don't have much of a career. That's the gamble. $5 million is a lot of money to turn down, though, especially given how much you might have lost in gambling.
Cody Campbell, the Texas Tech billionaire booster, chairman of the regions and all that stuff, he views himself as sort of a statesman in terms of reforming college athletics and has access to people that most folks don't have. But through this, I think it's damaging his reputation and, most importantly, his credibility. What do you think?
Unquestionably, right? Like this is not a secret, and I'm saying this as someone who's covered the political developments of the Protect College Sports Act pretty closely. I've talked to a lot of staffers on the Republican and Democratic side preparing that bill. Campbell's influence was massive. I mean, I'm not saying he wrote the thing, but his voice was recognized more than anybody else's. And because he has more money than most of these senators to put out television ads and to lobby, he is enormously connected with these college reform efforts. Ones that I think, if they happen, will disproportionately benefit schools like Texas Tech. And there was a time when I think you could claim, I may be in favor of Texas Tech, but I'm not as conflicted as the Big Ten or the SEC or some of these other lawmakers. I can't be bought. Whatever kind of credibility you want to have as a statesman goes out the door when you show up on Dan Dakich's show and try to insinuate that the college football world is angry because they want to keep Texas Tech down and that they would somehow excuse this behavior from LSU. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you would expect to see on one of the bad 247 message boards.
Yeah, it's fan stuff.
Like this is not something that you expect from a guy who's trying to do something very difficult,
right?
Which is thread a complicated bill through one of the most politically divided times since the Civil War, and to get 60 votes. I think it'll be easier for someone to look and say, you know what, this guy can go to hell, and ignore it because of the stuff that he's doing here. So one of the difficult things about being a billionaire in this country is that no one is around you to put their arm around you and say, I love you. You need to log off.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. He refuses to log off.
Yeah, he just comes across as a fanboy.
And I know a lot of stuff, things can change quickly in sports, but right now I just get the feeling like, forget influence. I don't think anybody wants to be in a room with him. I mean, I'm talking other presidents, other ADs. I don't think I think it goes back to what you said earlier about that visceral reaction people have. People who don't swear are swearing. People who don't get loud. People who don't get angry. I don't even think they want to be in a room with him. I think the influence is gone.
Yeah, it's the money in this isn't a partisan statement, right? But like if you have enough money in politics, people who really don't like you will find a way to swallow their pride and show up for a picture or a dinner. But the last 48 hours have not crowned him, and for that matter, I think the university in glory. You look at what Kirby Hocutt put out as his official statement. He's the athletic director, and it's like, I recognize that people feel really conflicted about this. It's difficult. We want to support this young man. He needs structure, trying to be kind of more high-minded and professional. And then you got your football coach saying, I didn't kill anybody. And then you've got your booster, regent / owner saying, like, y'all are just haters. I'll see you in court. It kind of undermines any kind of high-minded argument that they're trying to make,
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think if the Big 12 can come up with some form of suspension that is certainly stiffer and more penalized than 2 games that they'll win if I'm quarterback, if they can do that, and then Texas Tech continues to fight it, which is what they're basically saying, that the public then is going to view this as, well, we are trying to win football games at all costs, and whatever the crap you do, we're not going to let you do it, because the essence isn't to help a young man, it's to win football games. And their message then becomes worse and worse the longer this goes, and maybe they might say, my gosh, we are running up against this here. Sorsby, sorry, son. We want to help you, but it's just not worth it, because what's going to do to our rep and our integrity as a football program and a university is going to take a major hit. And we're already buying most of our team. And last year it was just their defense. They literally had guys that were most of the guys were just there for one season. And we had a kid, a producer who served his mission in Lubbock, and he said nobody goes to Lubbock on purpose. They go for reasons, whether you're called there or you're lured there by the money. So the point being, in a roundabout way, is Texas Tech is going to look bad the longer they try to resist efforts to not have this happen.
I'm sure that that's true. I think the cynical answer here, though, is we have a lot of years of data to show that a lot of institutions are willing to make that gamble and say, so what? The public gets mad at them, and then they'll either eventually find something else to be mad at, or it doesn't matter because the banner hangs.
Right, but this is gambling, though. This is the one sacred cow that you cannot violate.
Yeah, well, that would be what every athletic director in this conference thinks, and many coaches, and We'll see. I think many other institutions would have reached the exact same conclusion that you just described there. Texas as a whole is different. If there's one thing generational Texans really do not like, it is being told what to do by somebody who is not in Texas. Regardless of, even if it's like, hey, go brush your teeth. Like, no, screw you. I don't let my teeth rot out. Go Texas. There's a little bit of that. A little bit of that here, too, and they think that they have an opportunity to not only win a championship, but potentially put themselves in position to be in a super league, right? That if you don't win now, you're risking existential harm because, like you said, you don't go to Lubbock on purpose. West Texas is beautiful, but it's also kind of like Mars. and that you're not in this massive television market like other places. I don't agree with that thinking, but if you're already this pot committed, I can understand why somebody associated with that program would just say, screw it. Lord knows that people at LSU have made that calculation before. People at Baylor have made that calculation, Michigan, Ohio State. It's certainly not unique to Texas Tech.
I do wonder, and you make a very good point about Texas and Texas's attitude towards the rest of the world. I got a friend from college living in Dallas now, and I've got a family on my wife's side from there. That's not the first time I've heard something like that said. Yeah. So I totally back you up on that, but I do wonder inside of Texas. And back to your earlier point about there's no one to tell a billionaire to log off. I don't know Texas politics, but running the board of regents there, do you answer to the governor or the state legislature who might have ties to Texas or Texas A&M? I mean, is there literally someone who can tell Cody and Texas Tech, hey, knock it off? Or maybe there isn't. Maybe they really are, a country unto themselves out there in West Texas.
I think it's a little bit more the latter. The only exception would be, this is a little bit of an open secret around Washington, that Campbell's dream job is to replace Ted Cruz and then win and become the next senator from Texas and be an heir to a new kind of conservative populist lawmaker. And if that is your true biggest goal, then yes, I could see some other people on the other side of the state saying like, hey, man, do you want to make every single Republican mega donor in Dallas hate your guts? Because that's a great way to not win anything. But if that isn't your ultimate goal, if your ultimate goal is just glory to Red Raider Nation, yeah, I don't think the governor, lieutenant governor, the Space Force, and anybody, I don't think it can really make you stand down unless it's the money in Lubbock, and he's got quite a bit of it.
If Texas Tech gets really beaten up and every time they go on the road and this is a massive distraction and somehow they screw this up, who stands to benefit in the Big 12 on the field this year?
Yeah, that is actually a really good question, because both the fun thing about this league and the potentially frustrating thing about this league is the difference between the best team and like the ninth team is way smaller than it is in any other power conference. I would imagine on the field, it seems like the general sports writer consensus is that BYU and Utah are going to be or should expect to be in conversation for the 2, 3, 4 spot in this league. And if Texas Tech stumbles, they could be in a position to compete. But if we wanted to sit here, and this is pre-media day and trying to figure out the too deep for everywhere, if you wanted to passionately argue for one of the Arizonas, or for a different institution, I guess really anybody other than Cincinnati, I think I would say sure, I'd listen. There's very few teams in this league that I would say, oh, there's no chance that they have a potential to compete, especially after what we saw with Arizona State 2 years ago, when I think there was a good argument like this should be one of the 5 worst teams in the Power 4, and they made the playoff and almost beat Texas.
Matt, we will leave it right there. We appreciate the time and all the energy and passion. Thanks for joining us. And people can check you out. Extra Points newsletter covering college football. He is Matt Brown, the founder and publisher. Thanks, Matt.
Yep, you bet. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
DJ PK coming up top of the hour. Brian Geltzeiler joins us. Yes, there'll be Springsteen music and much talk of how in the world the Spurs managed to blow a 29-point lead and how did the Knicks come back. That's coming up at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeComb.
Shehan Jayaraja, CBS, joins us. We're all shocked. I know everybody's shocked. The only people that seem to be happy about this is Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech coaches and fans. How shocked are you that this went down the way it did?
I thought that the case that the NCAA laid out was pretty reasonable. In sports in general, right, there is a bright red line around one thing, and it's that you do not gamble on sports and that you do not gamble on your own games. This is something that impacts the perceived integrity of the sport. The idea that there are people on the playing surface who could be manipulating the game for whatever reason, right? And so that to me remains, in my eyes, a bright red line. This is really one of the first instances in sports, period, professional, college, any level, that we've seen it impacted like this.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's EVERAND.com/listen.
Ouch. This knee is killing me, but I can't stop training. The marathon is in 2 weeks.
Let's get on ZocDoc and find a doctor to take a look at that for you.
Okay.
Here's a review. Dr. Craddock really takes his time.
No, I don't have time.
What about Dr. Charles? His patients say he can help find a quick fix, and he's in network.
Great, now we're talking. Book it.
Booked. 1 mile down, 19 to go.
Bring it on.
You've got options. Download the ZocDoc app today.
What is that?
Yeah, it's a World Cup holder.
Like the soccer tournament World Cup?
Holder. For the world. Fits every car, holds every cup.
It has a Carvana logo?
Yeah, Carvana made it. They buy and sell cars, so they made a car cup holder. So, got any good cups lately?
Used to, just couldn't figure out where in the world to put them.
The World Cup holder, brought to you by Carvana, proud sponsors of the World Cup holder.
Sign up today to win yours at cup-holder2026.com. Not authorized or endorsed by FIFA. Not a real product. For parity and fair use purposes only.
To kids, summer isn't just time off. It's time spent building confidence and curiosity. But when school meals pause, millions of kids lose access to the food they count on during the school year. As a neighbor-led network, Feeding America is deeply rooted in every community, ensuring summer meals continue nourishing growth and potential. Your support puts healthy food within reach, fueling the future for kids and their families. Give now at feedingamerica.org/summerhunger.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in. We are talking NBA hoops and college football. PK, would you prefer to zig or zag right now?
Oh, I think the
we
big
got
story
2 segments.
Is NBA.
That was a sensational collapse by the Spurs and the Knicks, who showed no signs of life whatsoever in the first half and made a complete mess of the opening 24 minutes. Do not get penalized for that. They get off the deck and come back and win the game on OG's tip-in. Multiple things to regret there. Would you like to rank the regrettable things you saw from the Spurs?
Well, you got to box out the most ferocious offensive rebounder on the Knicks roster.
Oh, Giannotti.
The guy who plays with the highest level of energy.
Who had 4 rebounds in the whole game. The 4th one was the most important one.
And you just can't let your 7'4" guy. I don't see why he was guarding Brunson. I think Brunson knew, hey, Jack went up here. Wemby's 25 feet from the basket.
Well,
he's not going to be able to get back, and there's going to be plenty of time for us to get an offensive rebound.
I think he jacked it up because at that point the clock's down to 3 or 4, and he didn't see any way forward. It's like, let it fly now. This is the best look I'm going to get.
Well, he could have passed it.
Yeah, he could have. You're right. He could have. Nobody really had anything going in that moment, but
because they were all underneath the basket. It was clear. Take the shot, allow for an offensive rebound.
Let it fly.
Yeah.
And he did.
And that's what ends up happening. I don't understand why the Spurs wanted Wemby so far from the basket. They don't have a bunch of tall guys outside of him, relatively speaking, and they're all tall.
I think they were worried about Brunson's shot more than the rebound, and I think that Brunson was killing him in the second half, and so they said, all right, make the guy shoot over somebody who's literally a foot taller than him.
And sacrifice the offensive glass?
Yes.
Bad move.
And obviously it bit them.
I would want the smallest guy, whoever's on the Spurs roster, to defend Brunson and have Brunson take that shot.
Looking at the play right now, the one guy he could have passed the ball to was Anunoby. because Anunoby inbounded and he went to the three-point
basket.
Well, not right away. He went to the three-point line to make himself available because they were doubling, that to me is a real mystery. Like, if you're going to put Wemby on him, and you're right, it does cause other problems, but you don't need to put a second guy on him. So I don't know if Wemby freelanced that. I don't know.
I think
if
they were kind of guarding him to his left because that's his strong side. Who was it, Fox?
Yeah.
I don't know if he was really double teaming him. It was just he was preventing Brunson from going left.
Anunoby makes himself available, like, you're getting doubled, throw me the ball, I'll take the shot. And when Brunson lets it fly, Anunoby just pivots and just flies down the lane and the rebound. It was a nice soft shot. That rebound could have come clanking off the rim, but it's right there for Anunoby.
If I'm the Spurs, I live with Brunson taking that shot every time. That is an extremely low percentage shot. And I don't care what your effective, with the emphasis on F, field goal percentage is.
He would have gotten a better percentage shot, though, if Wemby isn't there. I mean, that's why it was a low percentage shot.
No. From that distance?
Well, I don't think he would have let it go. He still had 3 or 4 seconds. He could have taken a couple more dribbles and tried to beat whoever.
You told me that there was no time left. Now you tell me he can take 2 or 3 dribbles.
To beat Wemby, who's got the extendo arms and is 7'4", there's no time, but there's time to beat a normal human in 3 or 4 seconds. NBA players can put it on the ground a couple times.
We'll never know if that
shot.
was in his mindset. What we do know is he jacked it up and left the offensive glass wide open. It's like taking your goaltender in hockey and making him play in a defenseman and leaving the goal unprotected. The goal was unprotected. Clearly it was unprotected. It's undeniably unprotected. And they got burned by it.
In addition to the final seconds when the Spurs could have salvaged everything, Wembanyama's missed free throws were huge. Fox with a couple super curious turnovers, one of which they got away with because Hart blew the layup. It was a constant meltdown for the Spurs at the end of the game, and as you pointed out earlier in the show, not for the first time. They had a winnable game too get away from them.
This town knows what it's like to have your best player at the free throw line miss 2 free throws with the game on the line.
Yes, there are Jazz fans of a certain generation who can close their eyes and see that happening right now.
And that is inexcusable. That is, you melted, you wilted under pressure, and you could spin it any way you want. That's exactly what that is. If you can't make one of 2, you're not up for the moment. The moment is too big for you. You can't handle it. And it's harsh to say, and nobody wants to hear it, but that's the truth. And a wise business owner once said to me, "You're obnoxious, but you tell the truth." And you were standing right there.
You're obnoxious, but you tell the truth.
Yes.
I haven't heard anyone minimize the size of those 2 free throws, though.
But nobody wants to hear it. And nobody. We want to hear it here because it's not our guy standing at the free throw line, a guy that we put a statue up for.
I don't know what they're saying in San Antonio today, to your point.
Right.
But
they're complaining
49...
that the referees didn't call a foul on De'Aaron Fox when having him shoot the layup, that OG Anunoby fouled him. That's what they're complaining about.
Swallow the whistle last 20 seconds of a game is not surprising. I think there was 10 left when he took that.
Sure, it's easy to say, hey, Big Vic choked because he's not our guy.
Yeah, right, yeah. But that was brutal.
Yeah.
The pressure was massive. And especially because he'd been sitting on the floor calling somebody out on the other team.
Pointing to his head, running his mouth.
I know. And then, don't do that. Karma, it's going to come back and bite you right in the butt.
Don't do it, and you're from France. Name me a tough guy from France.
Is it not a form of encouragement?
So the Europeans can be tough, but not the French Europeans then? Is that
Name me a tough guy from France.
Rudy
Did you hear me?
I can't even name
Would
French
you want
players.
Rudy Gobert on the line in that situation?
Diao. I've only got 3 French players.
Tony Parker.
Oh, Tony Parker.
Tony Parker.
Yeah, Tony Parker. Yeah, should have gone to Tony Parker right away.
Thabo Cephalosha.
He's Switzerland.
Yeah,
He's
Swiss. But he speaks French.
Evan Fournier.
Good call there.
Because we asked, I remember asking somebody with the Jazz, when he's talking to Gobert, what are they talking? And he said French.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Swiss people are tough. Let me tell you, my father-in-law, he was an SOB.
Tough guy.
He was. He taught me a lot.
It's all those mountains.
He used to wear shoals. It'd make my wife uncomfortable. And also, they had a pool backyard in Phoenix. Dad, I have my friends over. We're not from Europe, if you get my drift.
Put a swimsuit on. Call it trunks, call it a swimsuit, call it a bathing suit. Just put it on.
He spoke 5 languages.
Walking around like you're Tarzan out in the middle of the jungle somewhere. You're not. You're in the burbs. Put on some clothes.
But that was normal for him.
Yeah.
So, and he left us at 59, way too young.
You have great stories about him.
And I wanted more. He was going to be my travel guide in Europe.
That would have been awesome.
Because he'd been there. He'd been to all those countries a million times. He worked for the airlines.
Yeah.
And spoke most of the languages over there, but now he's gone at 59. That sucked.
Other GOATs in this one. There were so many bad decisions. The launching of the threes. Champagne, who's had some good games in the series, has come up big. That was a mess.
Champagne, pass the ball, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on.
He took a 3 early in the third quarter that drove me nuts watching him launch.
And I knew it drove you nuts. I could feel it.
Good.
I could feel the vibes.
19, 20 seconds on the shot clock, and he's off balance with 2 guys trying to defend him, and he just throws it up. What are you doing?
I think they got casual with the lead.
Yes.
And they didn't have the ability now twice to finish it off.
Close the game out. Seal the deal.
Right. Now, if you want that form of encouragement, that it should be that, hey, we're down 3-1, but obviously there were 2 games right there to be had. And you can argue game 1 was to be had too, but certainly games 2 and 4 were extremely there to be had. And we controlled game 3. So we've beat this team playing our game for 48 minutes. We controlled game 3. We took everybody out of it. There was no energy in the crowd in game 3 and very little on the bench. So if you want to point to pause, which I think you should, because I'm not here to say that this series is over by any stretch. No, it's the first to 4, not first to 3-1. And so it's doable, particularly if you believe in home court, which I don't believe that much at this level. But you got 2 of the 3 there. So I'm not going to, but at the same time, I'm not going to say, all they got to do is win game 6 in the Garden, and they had an excellent chance, because that's assuming that they win game 5.
Yeah.
And, of course, game 7. And we'll worry about it if we get to game 7. I mean, I wouldn't mind a game 7 either way.
We never mind game 7s.
But I'm not going to assume that they're out of it, nor am I going to assume that they're going to win game 5. But I know they can. They can win game 5. Certainly they can win game 5. They should have won both games in New York, clearly. And they should be getting, if they flew out last night or this morning, they should. Don't feel hopeless by any stretch. No. You've got adversity. All right, that sucks, but that's life, man. Everyone's going to have it.
The Knicks had adversity down 29. If there's any lesson to take, it's that the Knicks kept playing. That's the best thing I think you can say about the Knicks. And they made a bazillion mistakes of their own, and they're just not getting those examined this morning. Because they got the win, and they're up 3-1, which is all they could walk out of the building with last night. So they got it. But they made a mess of that game in long stretches. But it doesn't matter. They're up 3-1. They got to win.
But
so
I
just
think
keep playing. That's the best thing the Knicks did.
They have this history very recently, very year.
That gave them. It
doesn't much matter.
A form of encouragement.
Well, it's proof. It's evidence. Play, and the game isn't over. The same thing. The series isn't over at 3-1. The game isn't over in the third quarter. It's not over till it's over, Yogi, and that's clear. And they played, and this is what we talk about. Momentum isn't available so much in hockey, but it can be in basketball. And then you get going, and things feel great, and away you go here. Mistakes were made. We can crack on the Spurs, but the Knicks, they made a bunch of mistakes too, and they just were able to get a brilliant play at the end. Bronco talked about football comes down to a play or two. Well, box this kid out, or the ball bounces to the left, and an OG can't get his left hand on it, but it bounces. He's right there with his right hand, no less, his dominant hand, and he tips it in.
His post-game quote, "We're battle-tested. We've been through a lot. We were down 29, but it was still positive." That is what the Spurs need to – all they need to do is change the numbers there. Instead of we're down 29, we're down 3-1. But the rest of that quote is what the San Antonio needs to embrace right now.
They need to embrace it, but at the same time, don't ignore it. Don't make excuses for it. use it as a motivator and a lesson to be taught that you learned the hard way. And a lot of times lessons are learned through negativity. It is hard lesson. It is a hard lesson. Okay. And you blew it. Don't run from it. Like De'Aaron Fox, it kind of bothered me a little bit where he's saying, well, I wanted to put us up by 3 and blah, blah. Instead of saying, in retrospect, I probably should have just dribbled it out to the corner and played keep away. Yeah. But he tried to cover for himself like, no, I didn't make a mistake. Well, yeah, you did. Because it didn't work. And I would rather him say, own it, man. Yeah, I thought I had a step and I could get to the lane, but the other guy made a heck of a play. In retrospect, it probably would have been better for me to dribble to the corner and at minimum waste a couple of more seconds. And then I can regroup, gather myself, and take an untested, unguarded 15-footer, which at the pro level, counting the first time you've picked up a basketball, you've literally done that over 1,000 times. And so, but to act like, oh, no, I did right, that bothers me. Own it. Own it. That's the best way to learn from it, is to own it and say, yeah, it wasn't the right move. I thought it was. Turns out it wasn't. There's nothing wrong with that. Am I going to crack on him for saying that? No. I'm actually going to have more respect for him that he admits it. I mean, I literally guarantee you, if he's ever in that situation again, he won't do that. Yeah. And that's fine. He's a human being. No one is expecting him to be perfect at all times, particularly in that situation in which he's literally never been in. And he has confidence in himself to be able to take it to the basket. All right, it didn't work. But don't try to couch it and cover for it like, oh, yeah, it was the right thing to do. I'd do that 10 out of 10 times, like Tortorella said on that review that he challenged in, what was it, Game 3 of the NHL series? Game 4, maybe?
No, it was Game 3.
I thought it was Game 3.
Yeah, it was Game 3.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that.
Unless it was Game 2. It was either 2 or 3. It wasn't 4.
And having him stand up for that. There's nothing wrong with De'Aaron Fox saying, yeah, I thought I could do it. Guy made a great play. They didn't call it. I probably should have dribbled it out. You going to think anything less of him if he says that? Is that showing weakness? I don't think so.
No, it was a mistake. And acknowledging that, I always think, and you think the same thing, that when someone gets up at a press conference and said, here's a mistake I made, but you think, well, they got a way better chance of fixing it going forward.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Than if they sit there and say it wasn't a mistake in the first place. When I hear someone say it wasn't a mistake in the first place, I think, well, you're going to float that pass to the sideline, or you're going to chase that curveball in the dirt, whatever it was. You're probably going to do it again.
Yeah, and plus nobody believes you anyway.
That's true, because we all think you shouldn't have gone to the hoop.
Right.
And the funny thing is that in the moment, a lot of people were thinking, oh, don't go to the hoop. Like, this is the time. I mean, you get coached on time and score. I mean, college coaches do that all the time. High school coaches do it all the time. It's not the first time he's ever heard, hey, time and score, run out the clock.
And it didn't happen for him. Okay. Mm-hmm. I can accept it. And it won't happen again. So for the Spurs, they should be fired up to play, Saturday night? What would this be? Game 5. Yeah. Be fired up to play Game 5, man. Come out and give the best effort that you possibly have. Don't try to this and that. And even if they ask Wemby, what's the deal with you in your head? No. You go to the free throw line. Who's in your head? Yourself. So, yeah, I got to be better. Don't tell me that it's going to ruin your summer.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Brian Geltzeiler, SiriusXM NBA radio host and NBAtv contributor at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
For Jazz fans, it's been a rough few years. Well, those days are behind us as the Utah Jazz finally struck gold in the NBA Draft Lottery. Picking second. As the Jazz prepare to draft a potential superstar with the number 2 overall pick, nobody will bring you better coverage of the NBA Draft than the KSL Sports Zone. For all the breaking news, high-profile interviews, and player analysis leading right up to draft night, keep it locked on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5. The KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're going to have Brian Geltzeiler on in the very next segment. We've got a short segment here. He's going to join us next from SiriusXM as NBA radio host, NBA TV contributor, and a New Yorker. We will talk with him about that epic collapse. We had Matt Brown on at the top of this hour about Texas Tech, and he was completely stunned by this turn of events. If you missed that interview, you want to dive deep in it, and if this, and maybe Tech is great with distractions, and they got so much talent, and they just roll. But if stuff goes wrong, who stands to benefit? And he did go right to Utah and BYU right out of the gate, although he acknowledged
picking them second and third.
Right. Yeah, most people are picking BYU second and Utah third. That seems to be the consensus behind Tech at 1.
Right.
But he did say so little difference in this league between Team 1 and Team 9. He threw out the Arizona schools.
Well, that's the strength of the league.
Houston and TCU could be thrown in.
Throwing Oklahoma State in there.
Turn it around. New coach, bunch of players coming from North Texas who won, and you can say it's outrageous, but James Madison to Indiana worked out pretty well, so who's to say?
Right. Yeah. I don't think Texas Tech is unbeatable by any stretch. And I don't think Sorsby makes them unbeatable by any stretch.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he makes a difference. But it's coming off as Texas Tech is making excuses for it, and their motto is we're going to win at all costs, and no one is going to stand in our way. And we will take you to court, every person, every entity who stands in our way, and they can say, oh, yeah, we didn't do any of this stuff. Okay, maybe you didn't, as far as Sorsby and his folks that, not his people that went to court. But you're basically saying going forward, we're going to be involved. And nobody believes you that you weren't involved anyway. Because all you had to do is say, hey, we don't think it's in your best interest to play. And so does he go and follow it? Or does he say, okay, I'll just work on myself and get ready for an opportunity, whether this summer or next summer, to play in the NFL?
Yeah.
So Texas Tech is just talking about how we had nothing to do with this. But no one's believing it. Everything they're saying is only being endorsed by people who want Texas Tech football to win.
They could spin the we didn't have anything to do with it if they weren't immediately backing it up with, if you try to suspend the Big 12, we will sue you.
That's what I just said.
$1 billion. It's total BS.
Right.
It's complete BS. There's no possible way. If they weren't in his corner originally, well, they are now. And there's a couple people who painted him
every step of the way.
The
they
biggest
brought him in because
booster.
they thought he can win.
Yeah.
That's it. They're not interested in helping young men. I mean, that sounds
good, but that's just.
But they brought him in because they thought he could help them win.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. They're trying to win at the highest level, and they don't want anything to get in the way of that. And anything else is just spin. That's the message that people are receiving. You can spin it, well, he didn't murder anyone. Great. That's the standard now. It doesn't matter. And it's not like they're different. I get it. Georgia is trying to win, and all the arrests. Urban Meyer had 30-some guys arrested at Florida.
He was trying to win too.
But he won national titles.
Right.
And that's all. So Texas Tech, that's what they're trying to say. We are doing nothing that hasn't been done. We're trying to win at all costs. But they can't say that. But that's the message that everyone is receiving, because that's the deal. We will not suspend our second-best player for the NCAA tournament when we've got the player of the year like BYU did. Rip them all you want, but they stood true to their principle. I think they could have handled it better, but nevertheless, that's what they did. They sacrificed a potential Final Four bid for their principle. Whether you want to agree with it or not, that's not the point. And most schools, if not every other school, is not willing to do that important of a player.
And we've accepted that in lots of circumstances. Yeah, I don't want to say we. All of college sports has accepted that in a lot of circumstances. But they don't accept that with gambling.
Gambling is the one absolute thing that you can't
Gambling
do.
is supposed to lead to a 1-year suspension. Maybe more, but certainly 1 year. And for a kid who's going into his 5th year, his 1 year is his only year. It's
and
everything.
With murder, well, you don't have to do anything.
No.
Because the law will take care of it.
The courts took care of Ray Carruth. The Carolina Panthers didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
We respect the legal process. And then he's
Some
convicted, he's locked up, and Carolina doesn't have to do anything.
You respect it if it's your verdict. If it's not, then you're going to cry, as we've seen. So with that in mind, That's it. They ought to just stop talking and let it go. But they can't. They have to, and they keep digging themselves a deeper hole. You want to win at all costs. Great. Good for you. And you're not going to. Your season will end in a defeat.
Yeah. It will. They're not going to sweep through the playoffs, knocking off Ohio State, Indiana,
right.
Oregon. Notre Dame has been picked up there.
Because the reality is, with Texas Tech, all the money in the world is not going to put you above those programs.
It's all the money in the world to you in the Big 12, but they're also sitting on, quote unquote, all the money in the world.
Right.
Oregon has been throwing all the money in the world
Right.
at football
Yeah.
for 35 years probably now.
Yeah.
Their first Rose Bowl, I think, was 94. So, assuming they threw money at it for a few years to ramp up to the Rose Bowl.
Right.
And they haven't gotten to number one. They've gotten to number 2 or 3, but they haven't gotten to number 1. Turns out that's really hard to do.
And they're going to make everyone's going to be against them along the way.
All this stuff coaches tell us about no distractions is because they've seen how distractions can tear a program apart in ways that aren't immediately visible, but they're still factually a problem. Sounds like a massive distraction.
Sure.
DJ PK, Brian Geltzeiler from New York on the NBA Finals, the historic collapse, the unreal rally. Next, stay with us.
Hey, it's your ceiling vent, so I'm dripping. Could be the rain, could be the upstairs bathroom. Yikes. You could hire the guy your neighbor recommended, but I'm pretty sure that's just his cousin. Do we know if he's licensed, or does he just own a ladder?
Listen to your home. Go with Thumbtack. Upload a photo or voice note and we'll diagnose your project and match you with the right pro for the job. Thumbtack. We know homes. Hire the right pro today.
DJ PK and Brian Geltzeiler, SiriusXM NBA radio host and NBAtv contributor, joins us. Brian, good morning, except in New York, where I believe they consider this a great morning, a fantastic morning, an unreal morning.
Good morning, guys. Heck of a basketball game last night, huh?
I'd say so. In terms of a critical analysis of it, where do you start?
Well, all right. So, listen, I thought the Knicks played the worst defensive half of basketball. They maybe played all season. Forget about the playoffs. They maybe played all season. The lack of attention to detail in the first half was galling. The way that their weak side defenders were, leaning into the paint a little too much and not closing out aggressively on the Spurs shooters, they got punished very badly for them. I mean, the volume. I mean, I actually think Vassell just hit another open three. I mean, they just kept them wide open the entire half, and again, it was all in the name of chipping on Wemby, but that didn't even work well. Like, it was a disgusting display of defense by the New York Knicks in the first half. Whatever they talked about in the locker room, the adjustments they made, number one, they cut off all the Spurs driving lanes. Keep in mind, Spurs 76 points in the first half, 30 points in the second half. Okay, they sealed them on driving lanes, all right, and they closed out on shooters on the weak side. And that took advantage of the Spurs' immaturity, because the number one reason the San Antonio Spurs are down 3-1 in the series, and we can give the Knicks all their flowers, okay? But they also have won 2 games by 1 point apiece that took catastrophic mental errors from the San Antonio Spurs to get the Knicks those wins. The number one reason the San Antonio Spurs are losing the series 3-1 right now is for the volumes of time that they forget that they have Victor Wembanyama on their team on the offensive end of the floor. And you have guys taking one-pass threes. Champagny had a 3 towards the end of the third quarter. And I tweeted this out at the time, guys. You keep taking those kinds of threes in transition, and it led to a long rebound and an easy Brunson transition layup. You keep taking those kinds of threes, you're going to get a Knicks an engraved invitation to be back in the game. And that is exactly what happened. It was a mental and emotional meltdown for the San Antonio Spurs. A lot of that is on that coaching staff. It really is. And I think Mitch Johnson's done a fantastic job throughout these playoffs. I do not think he did a fantastic job last night in the second half of that game. Misuse of timeouts. I didn't think Harper was in there for enough minutes at certain points in time. Just a gross lack of discipline. Here's the other thing. Okay, they did such a good job in Game 3 of harassing Jalen Brunson and bringing the ball up the floor with Castle and Harper doing that. Can somebody on that side explain to me that you ended up with Vassell and Champagny spending so much time on Brunson in the fourth quarter? And listen, Mike Brown, I give him all the credit in the world, and I thought he was going to do this with either McBride or Alvarado, whoever was playing better. And McBride was terrible, so he did it with Alvarado. He actually had an extra ball handler on the floor and sacrificed shooting to be able to help Brunson out, getting the ball up the floor if he needed it, and he didn't need it. Here's the other thing. How is OG Anunoby able to get the open looks he's getting when the Knicks played the majority of the fourth quarter with two non-shooters on the floor with Hart and Alvarado? And I know Alvarado did hit a three late. Alvarado was terrific down the stretch of that game. But you can't exploit the Knicks better than that and have two non-shooters and load up on Brunson and Anunoby. I just thought the Spurs, the meltdown emotionally and mentally went from the coaching staff directly to the roster, to the players. And De'Aaron Fox was supposed to be the veteran influence with the mistake of mistakes, not dribbling that ball out. Listen, OG had 3 transition blocks over the last 2 games. He thought he had a good 3 steps ahead of him. Just the fact that OG was even in the backcourt with him would have indicated dribble the ball out and make him chase you. He could have, listen, if he got away from Anunoby, he could have killed the entire rest of the clock, and the Spurs win that game. So it was a variety of things, but that's kind of my synopsis, boys.
Sure.
I thought it was brilliant. And you always think that smart people, whenever you identify, oh, that person's really smart, you can always go back and, well, that's because they agree with you. And I agree with everything you just said. You just checked out so many boxes. PK and I were looking at each other and nodding like, yep, we've talked about that this morning. Yep. I thought that whoever lost, with about 2 minutes to go, and I think it was right after an atrocious turnover by Fox, just floating the ball back into the middle of the court at midcourt, which I did in the 9th grade and got pulled from the game for. Yep. And then Hart blew the layup at the other end and didn't make him pay for it. I thought whoever loses this game is going to rue the dozens of blatant mistakes that have been made, and whoever wins will just forget about that and go, whew, got out of there with a W, thank goodness. It was entertaining basketball, but it was super sloppy, and both teams had stretches where they were atrocious. And I think you just checked a lot of those boxes for both those teams.
Yeah, and listen, Hart should be thanking his lucky stars, okay?
Yeah.
Josh Hart, you know what? Go buy OG Anunoby an expensive watch, okay? Because when he was able, he took Hart off the griddle. Because you talked about the missed layup. How about the missed box out on Castle and he had a foul?
Yeah.
And that's not Josh Hart. Josh Hart he's one of the best rebounding wings in the league. And that's just a for lack of a better term, a brain fart at the worst possible time. And Castle, second-year player, 21 years old, goes to the free throw line in that atmosphere in Madison Square Garden and drains those 2 free throws like they're nothing. And I want to go back to that point for this reason, guys, because, listen, this series is still 3-1, okay?
Checking another box.
The Knicks have to win a 4th game to win the NBA championship. 2 of those games, I'm going to go back to it again, were 1-point victories. Castle was unflappable in that spot. This whole notion, and you're hearing it from a ton of Knicks fans this morning, that the Knicks somehow permanently broke the Spurs last night. If the Knicks believe that, that is a very naive thing to believe. This is a mentally tough team that is new to this scene, but they are not going to give in. Did you see some clown last night threw an egg and hit Victor Wembanyama in the head walking into his hotel after the game last night? Okay, all right. Did you see how Wembanyama reacted? He didn't. He just kept walking. This team, the Spurs are going to come out angry, determined, focused, and I think they could beat the Knicks by double digits in Game 5, and you come back to the Garden 3-2 for a Game 6. I am not shoveling dirt on the San Antonio Spurs in any way, shape, or form right now. They're too talented. They're too good. They are in this spot in this series because they haven't been smart, and that's something that I think gets improved on. This I can promise you. Today's a travel day. Tomorrow, the Spurs will assemble at their facility, and I can promise you one guy will spend some time talking to that entire team about their mindset and where they need to be going into Game 5, and that'll be Greg Popovich, because he's going to try to impart some of his experience that he's had over the years in these spots to some of these guys, and he will get a captive audience from this group. I don't think the Spurs are mentally weak in spite of blowing that lead last night. I think that they made a mountain of mistakes. They got away from what they were doing well, and they got away from what their strength is, which is running everything through their big guy, no matter what area of the floor. I don't even care if he has it on the perimeter. They just have to run everything through the big guy. They got away from him once again for long stretches. And then when they went back to him, he played nervous. And one guy that we haven't mentioned yet, and we have to mention, is Karl Anthony Towns, who I think I don't even look at his box score. What he is able to do defensively and has done against Wembanyama in this series is another major reason the Knicks are up 3-1. And in the second half last night, he did a super job guarding him. The Spurs had him in foul trouble and did not attack in the second half. The game changes when Towns goes to the bench. Mitchell Robinson hasn't guarded Wembanyama close to as well as Towns has, and Anunoby really can't do it either, although he's doing the best he can when he does. The Spurs they should have absolutely been pounding the ball to Wembanyama with Towns on him, trying to get Towns over to the bench. The other thing that's important, Karl Towns on that inbound, and give Mike Brown credit for putting his 7-footer on the inbounder. Dylan Harper's pass, that, by the way, if Towns doesn't tip that pass, Castle's got a alley-oop layup to win that
look
game.
like it, yeah.
The play worked, guys. The back screen was set. Robinson didn't get through it, and Castle was alone. Towns got a hand on that pass. Because he got a hand on that pass, Hart was able to catch up in the switch. And to me, listen, that kind of stuff I think is absolutely crucial here. The Spurs were that close to being able to win that game, and that's something that they have to take with them to go over to Game 5 in San Antonio on Saturday night.
The one thing that bothered, well, there's several, but one thing that did bother me, and I've seen this repeatedly, is that the teams get casual offensively, right? Obviously, in the first half, they were blistering hot. Good for them. But the reality is that that's hard to sustain for 48 minutes, because if you do, you're going to win by 50, and we rarely see that, right? And so I didn't, and we've talked about this, DJ and I didn't like settling for threes, particularly early in the shot clock in the second half. Find a way then, if it's 29, instead of going to the lead I'm talking about, instead of going to 49, how about go to 39? And I just don't like the settling, I think, is the word I would use for threes the entire game. If you had a stretch, good for you. But maybe look, and I think you alluded to it, get offense running through the big man, get better shot selection. If for no other reason, that's going to take more time off the clock, and the clock is your ally in that point. So I have to criticize the shot selection by and large in the second half, because I didn't think it allowed the Spurs to really put their feet on the Knicks' throat.
No, I think it's a great point. And listen, the concept that I go to and I think about here, and it's not just in NBA basketball. You see this concept on every level. I see it with my son in AAU and high school basketball. The concept of the heat check, guys. The concept of a hot shooter that thinks because he's a hot shooter, he can take whatever shots he wants. Most times, that's not good. That works against a team and against team basketball. The Spurs had several heat check guys that hit a bunch of threes in the first half. Harper, Vassell, Champagny, and they took some bad shots in the second half. That whole concept of the heat check is very, very damaging, and normally happens when you have a big lead. And normally when everybody gets going on a heat check and decides they're going to take bad shots, it invites the losing team back into the game, as it did with the Knicks last night. And that was a big thing. Here's the second thing that it's important to understand also, guys. You know, the art of tempo control has been lost somewhere along the lines here. When you are up in a game like that, part of playing an intellectually smart and winning basketball game is knowing when to run and knowing when to walk, knowing when to walk the ball up the floor, knowing when to understand that using 18 to 20 seconds of a shot clock has a net benefit for you in the third quarter of a game that you're up 29 points. Don't start to play fast and loose and feel full of yourself. Humility is so important on a basketball court. One of the reasons I invoked Popovich earlier on, it's Greg Popovich has an old saying about your mentality when you play basketball. He calls it an appropriate level of fear. And I think the Spurs lost they didn't have enough fear. They didn't understand the discipline that they had to continue to play with once shots didn't fall. It was almost like once shots aren't falling. Like it's a classic example, live by the three, die by the three. But here's the thing about the Spurs last night, they didn't have to die by the three. When you have Victor Wembanyama on your team, you don't ever have to die by the three, and they died by the three.
There are people who believe that fatigue has been a major problem for the Spurs, that they played a 7-game conference final that was super intense, while meanwhile the Knicks were blowing through a sweep that looked like it was over at some point during Game 2. And that the Spurs' only win in the NBA Finals so far has come when there were 3 days between games, from Friday to Monday, from Game 2 to 3. And that now it's going to be 3 days till the game on Saturday, 3 days till Tuesday, 3 days till Friday, and that this is going to be a major plus from the Spurs. The facts are what they are. Are you buying that they're going to be able to capitalize on these facts, this schedule, and this bonus rest that the schedule is giving them?
Certainly for Game 5, yes. I think there's something to that. I do. First of all, and I think there's something to that for this reason, I think you could make the case that fatigue cost them Game 1. They ran out of steam down the close of Game 1. Number 2, let's not forget Victor Wembanyama right now is playing more minutes than he's ever played in his entire basketball career. They played him 44 minutes last night, and I'm not faulting Mitch Johnson. It's all hands on deck. This is the NBA Finals. This is the time that you play him and you run him that way. But what's happened to him, which is interesting, is the energy he has to expend guarding Karl Anthony Towns makes him a less effective help defender. And that's a really important factor here. And that's why Knicks fans went crazy over what happened a minute into the game where Mitch Johnson, which I thought was an insane replay, but give him credit, it worked. But he challenged a call, a Towns-Wembanyama call. That really could have gone either way. I don't think the refs got it so terribly wrong in the way Knicks fans. I actually thought the first foul on Towns was a worse call, was a touch foul that didn't need to be called in the first possession of the game. That one could have gone either way. But the important point in all that is what it takes out of Wemby to have to guard Towns on the perimeter and then be what I like to call Brunson's mid-range shadow. He was SGA's mid-range shadow in the OKC series, but he's so helpful to the guy on the ball because he doesn't have to get that close to be a presence on guys like Brunson and SGA in the mid-range. And that, to me, has been the single reason that Brunson has had some struggles in this series. And listen, he was excellent the second half last night. There's no two ways about it. But he's played more bad quarters than good in this series, and that's been a big reason for it. But I also think having Wembanyama have to do all of that does wear him down a little bit. The extra day of rest, I think is huge for Wemby right now when he's in uncharted territory in terms of the amount of minutes that he's had to play. And listen, the Knicks look fresh as a daisy right now. Why do they look fresh as a daisy? They had the benefit of 2 8-game vacations in the middle of the playoffs. And by the way, it's not a gift, boys. They earned it. They swept teams. They had their foot on teams' throats, and they pressed down and finished them off. They earned that stuff, and you earn that stuff because it's a net benefit now at this stage of the playoffs. So I do think, yes, I think the fatigue thing becomes a little more equalized with the extra day off. I think there is something to that. And I will tell you guys this, and I know Knicks fans are going to think I'm insane. I'd be surprised if the Spurs don't win by double digits on Saturday night. I really do, and I think we're coming back for Tuesday night Game 6 at Madison Square Garden.
I'll throw a Jazz question at you. Bill Simmons got that Boston connection with the Angels in Boston, obviously, with their history there. And he's talking about he thinks they're going to draft Boozer. What do you think?
So, listen, on one hand, I think the Jazz should not worry about what position to draft and just draft the best player possible. Here's the one thing that I take pause at. And Cameron Boozer is going to be an excellent NBA player. And I think it's almost a lazy comparison to compare him to his father because his father never had the perimeter game that he has, was never the passer or the ball handler that Cam Boozer is. Here's my issue with taking Cam Boozer in that spot. You're leaving 2 superior athletes on the board. And you're seeing it now, guys. It's as good as a guy like Jalen Brunson is, and he's incredible. OG Anunoby showed you what a high-end premium athlete could do last night in a big spot, okay? And that was an incredibly athletic play. Here's what I'm saying to you. If you have a guy that combines the skill and athleticism, to me, that's always going to be more valuable and have more upside than getting a guy that has the skill level. And don't get me wrong, Boozer's not a bad athlete. He's a very good athlete. But Devonta, who probably won't be there, Caleb Wilson, Darren Peterson, they're all better athletes. They all are. And that's my concern there. That's my one concern with taking Boozer. Do I think Boozer's going to be a very good NBA player? I do. Do I think Boozer's going to be a superstar? Probably not. Do I think any one of those other three guys, and maybe two of those other three guys, could be superstars? I do. I believe that. And that's where I think that maybe if they do that, they're going to make a mistake. But here's the other thing I'm going to say regarding what Simmons had to say about that. And I listen to every Simmons podcast. I'm an enormous Bill Simmons fan, as you guys know. We're getting to the draft. So today is the 11th. The draft's in 12 days. All right, we're very close to getting to Danny Ainge lying time, okay, where Danny Ainge will not tell the truth as you get closer. Danny will float rumors out there of guys he's interested in to see who may come up behind him and say, hey, we want that guy. Maybe we'll give you something for him. Danny is the master, okay, of floating smoke screens this time of year. No one is better, okay? He pulled it with Tatum. He bluffed that whole draft and ended up getting an extra pick and trading out of number one when he was with Boston and got Tatum at 3. Danny's brilliant this time of year. So what I would say about all the boozer buzz, and I'm hearing it too, take it with a grain of salt. And I understand that Danny's not the only decision maker there, but Austin, he comes from Danny's loins, boys, okay? And he's got the same type of instincts on what he's going to do, Austin Ainge. So I would caution that not to buy too far into the boozer narrative. There's a big groundswell of boozer support league-wide to be a top 2 pick in this draft. I think Danny's leaning into it a little bit to see if potentially it can net the Jazz some extra assets.
You may have crossed paths with Walt Perrin when he was working in New York. He was in Utah working for Kevin O'Connor. Did a lot of scouting. We rarely saw him during the season, but they would always run him out to do the media stuff leading up to the draft. And every time they do a workout, Kevin O'Connor would make the players available and make Walt available, even if Kevin wasn't. And Walt would ask all the time about the draft and reports, and he would just look at him. Liars Club is in session. He wouldn't wait for 2 weeks. He was
right.
like 5 weeks before the draft. Liars Club is in session. What you hear might be true, but it might not be anywhere near the truth.
Who in their right mind is leaking the truth right now as you get this close to the draft, especially a draft where these top 4 picks are so incredibly valuable because of the players that are going to be taken. And listen, Danny Ainge, as far as the rest of these team presidents and general managers are concerned, Danny Ainge wrote that book. He did. He's the master of it. So I would, again, take all of it with a grain of salt. I'd even take it with a grain of salt at the top of the draft. I mean, you're hearing a lot of Wizards buzz that DeBonce's going to be the guy. And maybe he is, and maybe he isn't. We have to see kind of what shakes out there, too. But I think you're getting there's definitely a lot of false information that's being floated in the thought of maybe motivating some teams to try to look to see to offer something. One thing I will say about this draft, guys, you may see some movement within the top 4 in terms of trading. No one is trading out of the top 4 of this draft. It will not happen.
I don't think I can find a draft where the top 4 guys, if you redrafted, were the top 4 guys. But is that going to happen this time? Are they really? There are no busts in the top 4? These 4 are all legit?
I don't think you're going to get a bust in this top 4. I know what people are saying about Darren Peterson. The people that are saying what they're saying about Darren Peterson haven't watched him long enough. Even with what happened in Kansas this year, he averaged over 20 points a game. He is as smooth a guard as we've seen come into this league since Kobe Bryant. And he can pass, he can shoot, he can guard. And I tell you, and I've told you guys this before, my partner Sam Mitchell coached him 3 different summers in AAU, knows Darren and his family very well. He will tell you straight out there is zero concern regarding Darren Peterson's competitive spirit. I know we heard the whole creatine thing and the cramping, and I think there was some of that was true. I think maybe it was dramatized a little bit, but I also think that he got an agent in his ear, and which let him know that this is a tune-up for much bigger money coming in the NBA, and you don't want to take any risk to knock you from the ability to be the number 1 overall pick in this draft. And I think that crept into his mentality too much. Listen, I didn't like that in the respect that Kansas paid plenty of money for him too. So, he owed them something there as well. My point being is I do think that so much of this with Peterson is overblown, and I think you can end up in a scenario where, these 4 guys all end up within 5 years being on one of the top 3 All-NBA teams. I think that there's all 4 of them have the potential to be that good.
He's Brian Geltzeiler. You hear him on SiriusXM NBA Radio, and you see him on NBAtv. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Always, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
DJ and PK, everything you missed in this show next. Stay with us.
3, 2, 1.
This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeCoux.
Come on, this is a guy that fully admitted that he had gambled. He had over $90,000 worth of bets, many including games that he was playing in, teams that he was on, teams that he had insight into game plans, and the injunction is granted. You will see Brendan Sorsby unless an appeal is made, and they're banking on the fact that this injunction will remain in effect until something can happen, and that won't be until after the season is over. So Brendan Sorsby may be playing college football, folks.
The problem in a nutshell is this. We've done this to ourselves.
Oh, yeah. This is self-inflicted.
We have absolutely done this to ourselves. It is in a thirst for right now we got to win because everybody's in an arms race and everybody's trying to compete so hard and we've lost our frickin' way.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Thumbtack presents Uncertainty Strikes. I was surrounded. The aisle and the options were closing in. There were paint rollers, satin and matte finish, angle brushes, and natural bristles. There were too many choices. What if I never got my living room painted? What if I couldn't figure out what type of paint to use? What if I just used Thumbtack? I can hire a top-rated pro that knows everything about interior paint, easily compare prices, and read reviews. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's everand.com/listen.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating Melon Serum. This next-generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
What is that?
Oh, yeah, it's a World Cup holder.
Like the soccer tournament World Cup?
Holder. For the world. Fits every car, holds every cup.
It has a Carvana logo?
Yeah, Carvana made it. They buy and sell cars, so they made a car cup holder. So, got any good cups lately?
Used to, just couldn't figure out where in the world to put them.
The World Cup holder, brought to you by Carvana, proud sponsors of the World Cup holder.
Sign up today to win yours at cup-holder2026.com. Not authorized or endorsed by FIFA. Not a real product. For parody and fair use purposes only.
To kids, summer isn't just time off. It's time spent building confidence and curiosity. But when school meals pause, millions of kids lose access to the food they count on during the school year. As a neighbor-led network, Feeding America is deeply rooted in every community, ensuring summer meals continue nourishing growth and potential. Your support puts healthy food within reach, fueling the future for kids and their families. Give now at feedingamerica.org/summerhunger.
Hands back to Brunson, center court logo. Right wing, matched up with Castle. 3 to shoot. Brunson to the foul line. Pulls up for a floater. Front rim and in. And the Knicks have their first lead with 1:22 to go in the fourth quarter. 5.7 left. No timeouts remaining. Anunoby is handed the ball. Finds Brunson at midcourt. Launches a straight on 3. Missed it short. Tip by Anunoby. He put it in. Anunoby put it in. The Knicks take the lead with 1.2 to go. Anunoby
it's not over.
Out of nowhere. Bridges on Vassell. Hart on Castle. Robinson on Wembanyama. Pass toward the middle. Caught by Castle. Dropped by Castle. His shot is blocked by Hart. And the New York Knicks just pulled off the biggest comeback win in NBA Finals history. From down 29, they take a 3-1 series lead, stunning the Spurs 107-106.
Slacker Radio headlines are brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 1-855-TRAJAN1 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good, deep, and guttural, PK.
They're the best.
Are the Knicks the best? Or are you buying what Brian Geltzeiler just told us? It ain't over yet. This could still be messed up.
Oh, I think so. It's not the first of three. It's not 3-0. He's win Game 5, it's a series again. Lose Game 5, I believe the series is over.
Thank you for that analysis.
I'd like to argue with that, but that's a fact.
Well, obviously if they lose, the series is literally over. But I do think it's a series again. Now, it's not just, they go to Game 6. No, that's not the point I'm making. If they win Game 5, I see no reason why they can't win Game 6. So when I say it's a series again, I mean literally, obviously it is. But what I mean is that at that point, I would go 60-40 Knicks because they only have to win 1 and the others have to win 2. But then if you get to Game 7, then I'm probably going 60 Spurs. So things can change. So the Knicks, they're nice. And, yeah, I think you have to acknowledge the complexions of the games. The Knicks deserve all the credit in the world, but the fact is they've had 2 incredible wins. One was sort of standard, and you could say, that's because the Spurs were tired. If you want to go down that road, fine. I won't object to it. So they were able to get a game based on scheduling. That, as Brian pointed out, the Knicks had the right to get that because they swept and you went 7. So that's on you, not anybody else. It's not on the league. It's not on anybody but yourselves. And you could argue, that's because Oklahoma City was better competition. I understand that. That's all true. But nevertheless, that went 7 games and the Knicks had time off. Well, that's going to wash at some point, and I think we're there now with the days off and so forth. So I still think this has a chance to be a 7-gamer.
The one thing we have not talked about, and we've hit a lot of topics, and Brian Geltzeiler hit a lot of them there, we haven't talked about the fact that Wemby picked up another flagrant foul, is now flirting with an automatic suspension with 1 more.
And that's why he won't get it.
Unless they have to. He does something so blatant.
If he cold cocks someone.
I thought that...
But swinging an elbow, you can argue, that's incidental to the play. I'd have to see it, but I'm not going to believe it until I do see it.
I thought that in Game 3 they could have given one, but they didn't want him to walk him right up to the edge, as you just pointed out. So they let that one go, but there was no way to let the one last night go. And I didn't think that it was... mean-spirited and intentional, trying to hurt somebody.
Crazy. I can't even remember it. Just my memory.
He got it. He brought his arm up underneath, and his elbow caught the bottom of Towns' jaw.
He was trying to clear space, and
so much happened. I get it,
right?
But that's just it was an incidental thing. But now you're 1 away in an incidental thing. They couldn't ignore that. It was too blatant, even though it wasn't intentional. I do think he's hit a lot of people in the head. I mean, Karl Malone hit a lot of people in the head and face. Isaiah kind of looked like
I've been smacked in the head a time or two myself. Which
he lined Isaiah up. Joe Klein leaned in, and honestly, I
Joe
think
Klein, huh? Wow, now we're way go.
He asked for it. David Robinson, I don't think he knew he was there. But
Did
that's
you
a
watch
lot of
Father's
guys.
Knows Best last night? That was a great show. Great episode.
That was a lot of guys, and
How
I
about
don't
the
think
Love Boat?
I don't think I even named them all. And Wembyama, that's a whole career. Wembyama's done it all in one postseason.
Oh man, tonight I'm really going to enjoy the Lawrence Welk show.
Quit smacking guys in the head.
Don't get me started.
Joe Klein?
Lawrence Welk.
Yeah. He bloodied Joe Klein.
Joe Klein.
Yeah, he did. It's a guy hit in the head. Of course, Klein leaned in with his face and asked for it.
What century was that?
The 20th, as was most of Carl's career, as you know.
Joe Klein.
Yeah, you bring up Carl at the free throw line, it's fine. I bring up Carl's elbows, no.
No, you brought up Joe Klein. You didn't bring
up... That's the guy
up...
he hit.
Okay, but
I only brought him up because Carl hit him in the face.
Right. I bring up Malone because he'll always be relevant here. You brought up Joe Klein.
Because Carl hit him in the face, and it'll be relevant here because Wembanyama's hitting
David
people
Robinson,
in the face.
not Joe Klein.
I did bring up David Robinson.
And stick with
and
that.
I brought up Isaiah Thomas.
And
the point is there's a whole list.
No, not Joe Klein. I'm sorry.
Joe Klein's
Nobody
face.
knows who Joe Klein is.
Joe Klein's
People
face
know who
doesn't
is
matter.
Isaiah Thomas and David Robinson. If you want to go way back, which you're prone to do, I'm fine with that. But not Joe Klein.
Yes.
No. Because everybody who was alive then as a Jazz fan can remember. But there's no one outside of you who remembers the elbow to Joe Klein. No one.
Joe Klein remembers it.
He's not on our listenership. We're not getting paid whether Joe Klein listens to us or not.
They're listening to us. We're global now, baby.
Joe Klein is not listening to us. I guarantee you. I'm not even sure Joe Klein is alive.
Oh, he's alive.
Don't ever bring up a Joe Klein reference again.
Doing it in the next segment.
I hope this weekend I'm going to see the Mamas and Papas in concert.
You are not. They're dead.
No, Michelle Williams is not dead. She's 82, but she's not dead. She could do it solo. I stopped into a church. I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees. And I began to pray.
Anything else you'd like to say about the game? Victor Wembanyama, quit hitting guys in the head.
I think that if the Spurs can get intensity to the manner that I saw Joe Klein do it, I think they got a shot. Because you want to talk intensity, Joe Klein was the guy.
All the leaves and rain. And the sky is great. We have Texas Tech news.
Yes, we do.
Interrupting the Mamas, Papas, and Joe Klein to bring you Texas Tech news.
California dreaming, man. Albeit we're
It's
going
a classic.
Yeah,
It is
I know.
a classic.
We're going to the Lone Star State, though. But the Office of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has now sent a letter to the Big 12. It states that any sanctions against Texas Tech over the Brendan Sorsby situation would be treated as, quote, unlawful and would lead to legal action. So they've got the AG working on their behalf.
We want to win, and you're telling me some Fort Worth judge wasn't in on it either.
No, we got
the
who's been
Attorney
retired
General
for 20 years.
Where did the Attorney General go to school?
Doesn't matter.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't.
It'd be
It's
awesome
from
if he went to
Texas.
Texas Tech.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but a lot of people in Texas, there's a lot of jealousy inside of Texas. Texas is big. Yes.
Yak, did you ever live in Seattle?
No.
Did you ever live in San Francisco?
No.
Who's your favorite baseball team?
Seattle Mariners.
Who's your favorite football team?
San Francisco 49ers.
It don't matter.
It does matter.
It's emotions. You latch
there's a
on to
lot of
something
emotions,
for
isn't
whatever reason, and away you go. Plus, it makes yourself look good. Oh, I'm going to be tough guy against little 5'2" who weighs himself every day, Brett Yormark.
He weighs himself every day.
He told us that.
All right, so.
As if a lot of people don't step on a scale every day.
But he's the one who thought it was newsworthy
I
to
step
tell
on a
us.
scale every day.
I thought I was right on this initially, and I was. So Ken Paxton graduated from Baylor with his undergrad, his Juris Doctorate, University of Virginia.
His Juris Doctorate. He got a Juris Doctorate from the University of Virginia. Friggin' Thomas Jefferson. I've been to the University of Virginia. I walked the campus. Me and Bronco, we share memories of my 24 hours in
a song
Charlottesville.
that's as old as that Mamas and Papas California
But
Dreaming.
not nearly as good.
That's true.
You
By a
brought up the
mile.
Joe Klein equivalent of music.
I did, actually.
You're having a bad segment.
That is Joe Klein to David Robinson right there. That is. California Dreamin' has memories by a couple of NBA titles and roughly 20,000 points.
Yeah, it's what we call as a classic. Now what are we playing?
Something that isn't quite as classic.
More Mamas and Papas.
More Mamas and Papas, but it's not classic.
I think I'm familiar with the tune. Outside of California Dreamin', my catalog on the Mamas and Papas.
It's really that. And then
pretty
like
limited.
they're Monday.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha.
Those two are their most famous.
That's it? They're two-hit wonders?
Yeah.
Well, I was like, what other ones can you think of?
No,
I got nothing.
I can't, but I'm not a good.
But you
I'm
brought
not
up.
a good
I don't
test
remember
for
who we
that.
brought up that got us on.
No, I figure he knows. Yeah.
Who did we bring up? Who did he bring up that got us on this topic?
Joe Klein.
Joe Klein. That's who it was.
Stay with us. Come on, York.
Well, I couldn't remember. I was like, how do we even get off on
and
this?
that's amazing because Joe Klein is unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
Joe
That's
Klein.
what you are.
That's Nat King Cole, the greatest singer of all time.
Yes. I'm butchering it, but, whatever. And the Mamas and Papas can't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with just 2 hits. They got to have more.
Are they in it?
They are.
Wow, good for them.
They got inducted in 98.
Maybe it was such an overwhelming hit. You're the velo on that hit. It was incredible.
Robert Horry, just a couple of big shots, and you got the nickname, and you're good to go.
I wouldn't have thought they'd be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I once had an intense discussion with a certain football coach, the best band not to be in the Hall of Fame.
And what's that?
He came up with Jethro Tull. So then, of course, I have to come up with 2 or 3 others for the sake of argument.
Who'd you come up with?
Man, I don't remember. This is going back. I think I said Thin Lizzy. I can't remember.
Okay.
This is several years ago, but it killed a half hour texting each other. It's clearly in the off season.
One note on this with Ken Paxton is that he is running for U.S. Senate in Texas, and this could be a way to,
Duh.
Don't mess with Texas.
Duh.
I support Texas
He's
Tech.
going police right now. I don't know whether to keep singing songs.
No, I'm not.
Da-da-da.
Not intent.
All I want to say.
But it was more duh than da.
Okay.
If I slipped into the genre of da, that was my mistake. I meant more duh.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to talk about besides Texas Tech and the NBA Finals? Got a Stanley Cup final tonight. See what Game 5 holds for us. It feels like a letdown after Game 4 of the NBA Finals. That was quite the adrenaline rush, even though there was some horrific basketball being played. It was wildly entertaining and
Well, I
competitive.
would want to see maybe one of these teams can come down from 10 goals.
Nice. We've seen a bunch of blown 2-goal leads. Maybe someone can blow a 3 or 4 goal lead.
Well, the nature of the game, I don't know that it's really a blown.
Vegas almost did it. They were up 4-0, and then it went to OT, but Vegas won, so they got out of there.
Yeah, I feel bad for Bryce Eldridge, though. He's the youngest player of all time to hit a walk-off grand slam, and he's just not getting
overlooked. He's getting overlooked. The Giants were down to the Nats 9-1. Came back to win 11-10. 5 in the 8th, 5 in the 9th, and his grand slam in the 9th, walked it off and won it. Shohei Ohtani, you sent him down to Oklahoma City to the minors. His ERA went from 0.74 to 1.06. He gave up 4 runs, 3 earned. Dodgers lose to Pittsburgh 9-8.
We're not paying him all this deferred money to get raked.
You and your 1.06 ERA are humiliating us.
What have you done for me lately? This is sports.
There it is.
I don't care what you did last year.
Well, lately you hit a home run, right?
You did a home run in the 9th inning. And
they were down
brought him to
9-6, got it to 9-8.
Yeah. Yep.
And home run number 2 for Fernando Tatis. A low screaming line drive that barely cleared the wall. And the Padres won on a walk-off.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Patrick Mahomes, we told you yesterday his contract got reworked. Turns out he is now owed $504 million, $500 million through 2033. They extended it, pushed some of that money out, probably won't this time.
I wonder why his wife's always smiling in every picture I see of her.
Life is good, man.
And his incentives can push it to $522 million.
Well, I hope he comes back healthy and does his thing for a few more years. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, but do they have a good enough team around him? Or are you looking at?
I'm talking about him doing his
just
thing.
being fun. Be a playoff team. The Super Bowl stuff.
I saw Aaron Rodgers do it. He won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not like he's, but he was fun to watch. And that's why my new favorite quarterback, without question, is Jackson Dart.
Who are the Chiefs chasing in the AFC? Denver?
Everybody.
Buffalo? More than that? Those are the top 2 in my mind right now.
But I mean, they didn't make the playoffs, so they're literally chasing everyone
chasing
who
a lot
did.
Of teams. Yeah. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Your feedback's next. Stay with us. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's time for your feedback. What do you have to say about today's show? What are you thinking? Steve, imagine being up by as many as 29 points and feeling like you still should hoist up 15 3-pointers. Ridiculous. Steve is incensed.
Yeah, I think you got to play smarter.
Yes.
And I'm of the class of people who I think it's very large. Don't be tentative. The prevent defense prevents you from winning and all that stuff. But I think in this case it's a little bit different. There was no need, particularly when you've gone cold, which is understandable. No team is hot from 3 for 4 quarters.
So you can be aggressive without taking an early shot. When the quick shot bugs me. The stand in the center court circle and dribble the clock down to 5 bugs me. You're stalling your momentum. It's going to be way easier to get a stop. Run your offense. When the Spurs run their offense, when there's 4, 5, 6 passes, they move the ball side to side, they get good shots on the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks can defend them for a while, but they get good shots. And we've seen that throughout this series.
Well, if it's an early shot in the shot clock, but it's a good shot close to the basket and percentages are strong, take it.
And they have done that. They've caught the Knicks sleeping. That's actually when they've hit Wembanyama with some lobs. The Knicks are ready for the whole side to side. He cuts to the hoop and
yeah, I mean, if you've got a lob to him, take it. I don't care if there's 1 or 23 seconds left. But just be smarter. Don't be cautious to the point of, well, we've got the lead. We've got to hold the ball. That's not what I'm saying. But 3 of 17 and 12 of the 17 were taken with more than double digits, at least double digits on the shot clock.
Too early.
Yeah, and I'd have to investigate literally every shot, and I don't remember every shot. Sure. You've called up a couple of them. We can do that. But you got to be smart. And so I would say play a little smarter. Mitch Johnson said a thing in the postgame. I didn't see it because I went to bed, but I saw it this morning in my preparing for the show, was, hey, we're down 3-1. I'm not taking anything away from the Knicks, but we think the 3 losses were on us more than the 3 wins were on the Knicks. And I can see that mindset. Certainly 2 of them are inarguable. Those games were had. Now, you don't know that if Wembanyama doesn't throw that ball off of Castle's back, that they actually win the game. But you can see where they're going. You have the ball. You have the lead, blah, 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 blah. Statistically, if they did the ESPN, what do they call it, prediction to win thing?
Win probability.
Yeah, there you go. That it would have been extremely high. So I get where he's coming from. That's why I still think this thing is a series. And the Knicks have an opportunity to really break a lot of celebrities' hearts.
Who'll be more crushed? Spike Lee, Jerry Seinfeld,
John McEnroe's a
Larry
hardcore.
David, John McEnroe, Derek Jeter, or Taylor Swift.
Hey, Timothy Chalamet, come on.
Timothy Chalamet.
I don't know that Swift
Jenner?
is a long time.
Kylie.
Okay.
Wait a second. You never, ever get your Jenners confused.
It's just the Kardashians I should be getting confused.
You might be able to get something that rhymes sort of with Jenner confused.
Should we just end the show now? I mean, we could. It's 9:57.
You have to know that. Who is that, Yak?
Timothy Chalamet?
No, the gal.
Kylie Jenner.
You have to know that it's Kylie, not Kendall. You have to.
You ask which one.
That was a setup.
I know it was. I just liked it. Let me enjoy it, will you?
Well, there might be some people out there who didn't know.
That's true. They don't realize it. I can see the look in your face.
I know you could. I wasn't saying it for you.
You can't forget the name of what's her name.
Wait for it. Wait.
It just dawned on me that would be a bit that would work.
There are people who go to work between 7 and 7:30 and they just don't know this about you.
Well, then get on the podcast,
That's why you
man.
podcast it.
Hey, and if you did miss the podcast today, that was Matt Brown was good, founder and publisher, Extra Points newsletter, talking about Texas Tech and everything that's happening there and where that's going and how appalled and aghast the rest of college football is and how much Texas Tech does not care. Brian Geltzeiler joined us, SiriusXM NBA radio and NBAtv contributor. He was really good on the NBA Finals. Made a lot of good points.
Yeah.
And I thought they were good because I agreed with about 99%. The one thing he said I didn't agree with is when he was talking heat checks, he was running through players, and I was fine until he said Champagne because that guy was never hot. He was 2 for 9. He was 1 for 7. His heat check was from he was acting like it, but he was heat checking from Game 3.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think he was heat checking from the first half.
Was the first half of Game 3?
He was. Yeah. He hit like 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Unreal. But they're paying him $3 million, and so he's not expected. He's a role player. He's not expected to do that.
I'm fine with a
every
heat
game.
check as long as it's a good shot.
But that's the nature of heat checks, as they aren't. It's a bad shot, but because I'm so hot, it's okay to take this. So
well, that's
built
going to
within
cool
the
your
check.
heat check then.
That's exactly Geltzeiler's point. Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's enough exactlies.
We fret about our biggest celebrity, Fat Joe. Come on.
Fat Joe.
You got a shout out from
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. Fat
with
Joe's
the
looking
chains
good.
and the reflections and all that
You got the
stuff.
biggest shout out of the night.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for us. For Jake Hatch, for Patrick Kinahan, and Joe Klein, I'm David James. You liked that.
That was good.
All right.
I liked it too.
Stay with us. Coming up, the coach. I know, but he only reacts to you. He didn't like to react to me. The coach, Tim McComb, Scotty G, next right here on The Zone.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
If you love podcasts, you already know how to fit great stories into your busy day. So why not do the same thing with books? Everand is an affordable audiobook and ebook subscription that goes wherever you go. Your commute, your workout, your grocery run. No rearranging your schedule, no carving out reading time. Just hit play. For a limited time, new members get 2 free books when they start a free trial. Go to everand.com/listen to claim yours. That's EVERAND.com/listen.